Hey guys, what is going on, man? You're here, I'm here. Arsenal versus Spurs. This is the boom shakalaka. This is the one that is going to send us through to the stratosphere. This is it, guys. This is what we've been waiting for. It's in your hands right now. It's in your hands. Big shout out to everybody out there in Arsenal land. And let me know what you think of the game. What's your prediction? What can you see happening today? We're going to go through the team sheet. I'm just going to run through that now. I'm been enjoying the content this week from everybody. I've been a little bit busy. I've been out with a bad back so far. But been enjoying the content from everybody, talking about all the game build-up. And the one thing I have to say, guys, by the way, it's good to see Theo Walcott in there in the studio. Big shout out to Theo. Theo. And it's been good to see all the teams, mixed Arsenal teams. I sent my one in the other day of what my Arsenal Spurs team would be. I think about how many Spurs players made the team. I think Son, Kane made the team and one of the midfielders, and that was it. I think Romero, centre-back. He made the team. Outside of that, all the rest of the players were Arsenal. So I've been watching quite a lot of that stuff going around now on YouTube where people are talking about mixed Arsenal versus Spurs. What's the first 11? Let me tell you something, man. We got more players in our in the first 11 than they have, and that just pretty much tells you who's the better team. But one thing that I have found out that I got to speak to you guys about, it's a little bit of a beef of mine. A lot of people are talking about the all-time Spurs and Arsenal 7, and maybe that is something that we can talk about on a Friday night. But my all-time Arsenal Spurs 11, I'm not going to go into it now, but have you seen how badly the Spurs fans want Kane in there? They want Kane in the all-time. So just for context, Thierry Henry is the best striker who's ever been in the Premier League, bar none. Dennis Bergkamp, best number 10, most majestic player the Premiership has ever seen. So when you're talking about Song, yeah, you got to put Song in there, man. This is like, what, the third season he's had 20 goals now? So you got to put Song in there. But where do you put Kane? You'd have to change the formation to fit Kane in. Because you can't. I even saw one team put Henry. Henry started on the left side before he went in as a striker for Arsenal in his early days, and I even saw one publication put Henry on the left just so that they could fit Kane in. Sorry, Kane doesn't get in my team. Kane is a very good striker. Henry is the best Premier League striker who's ever played in the Premier League, bar none. You do not make situations where you have to fit players in. You don't. Because if you start messing around with formations to try and shoehorn Harry Kane into an all-time Arsenal Spurs 11, then you're doing the team injustice. Because if you're trying to shoehorn those players in, you got to put in Bergkamp, you got to put in Song, you got to put in Henry. There's no space for Kane. If you fit Kane in there, then the midfield suffers. Because you got Modric, you got Robert Perez, you got Patrick Vieira, you got Cesc Fabregas. Your midfield is gonna die because all for the sake of one player. So why don't them guys just man up and say, sorry, Harry Kane don't get into the first 11. I'm sorry, man. He doesn't get in. He doesn't get into mine because I can't fit him in. Because no matter what you do, you're going to break the team. It's a little bit of a Man United Cristiano Ronaldo situation, yeah? Just because you want one player in, who's a great player. He's not the best. Thierry Henry was the best striker. But to shoehorn Kane in, you'll eventually just break the midfield. So I ain't going to do that, yeah? For me, ain't going to happen. And the one thing I did see when they were trying to talk about right back, again, they're trying to shoehorn a Spurs right back, Kyle Walker. Sorry, Lauren, you're going to choose Kyle Walker over Lauren? You're going to, some of the Arsenal greats like Winterburn, yeah? The left back, right back, Kenny Sampson, Lee Dixon and all them guys. Sorry, man, that ain't gonna work for me. You're trying to fit in Jurgen Klinsmann and all them guys in. Ain't gonna work for me. So I just want to say shout out to all of you guys before I go into the team sheet. Cool K, big shout out to you. Says, on one hand, no Romero is a loss for them. Yeah, big loss for them. I was banking on him getting sent off. Guy's extremely rash. Well, the guy who's replacing him, Sanchez, he's even worse. he's you know, they say some players have got an accident in them. He's got 4 or 5 accidents in him. Gary, big shout out to you, Gary. As you guys know, we're not streaming on Facebook today. We're not on Footy Banter and 101 because StreamYard's just playing silly bollocks. It's not working. So we're streaming live on YouTube and we're streaming live on Twitter to everybody out there. So welcome to all of you guys. Daniel, my cousin, big shout out to you. Let me know what your prediction is, my brother. Let me know what you think that the score is going to be. In fact, for all of you guys, let me know what your prediction is going to be. It'd be really nice to hear what you guys think. And I know some of you lot are stuck on this draw, this, 1-1 or 2-2 or whatever, just because you know that that's the safe way. I don't want the safe way. I want the knockout. Mike Tyson. I want the Lennox Lewis. I want that path. I want it where you put a man on the floor and then you just walk over him and stand over him so he knows who's the king. That's what I want to do. If you're in front of 60,000 fans in this stadium and you deliver a knockout punch, I want all the Spurs players, Conte, all the Spurs fans all around the world to know that Arsenal are your dominators. That's what I want tonight. I don't want to leave there thinking, oh, we've got to beat Newcastle or we've got to beat Everton. I want to leave there celebrating. This is going to go well into the night, guys, if we win tonight, because I want us to celebrate like it's 1999 that we are going to the Champions League. That's what I want. Yeah. So Cool K says Romero was really solid against Liverpool. So nice to hear he's out. Dyer and Sanchez are a poor pair of defenders. They're not going to like Gabby or Eddie nipping at their heels. No, they won't. They won't. 18, what's going on? Fab, good to see you. Fab is saying it's going to be 2-1 to Arsenal. Gary is saying Romero is a massive loss for he is a huge loss. That is like us losing a Gabriel. It is. It really is. It's like us. I mean, we're already losing Ben White, even though he's back on the bench today. But Holding has fitted in. But they don't have a Holding. They're so dregs. Yeah. Listen to how dregs Spurs is. They're so dregs. They never replaced Jan Vertonghen and they never replaced Toby Wankanobi. Yeah. Elderwood. They didn't replace those guys. That they had to put a midfielder in Eric Dyer at centre back, who was a fill-in. He's been filling in for 3 years. He's been filling in for 3 years. Imagine the first thing Arteta did and Edu when they came into Arsenal, they bought a spine. They got a goalkeeper. Goalkeeper wasn't the first thing they bought in. They got in centre backs Gabriel. They got in Thomas Partey. Then they got in Ben White and then Ramsdale. They built a spine right through the middle of the team. What did Spurs do? They still got their dregs. Eric Dyer, after 3 years playing centre-back. That's not good, mate. That's not good. Cool K is saying 2-1 to Arsenal. Here's the scores on the doors from you guys. 18 has gone for 1-1. He's gone for the safe bet. Gary has gone to 3-1 to Arsenal. Daniel has gone 3-1 to Arsenal as well. And Gary's saying Dyer is tragic. He is, mate. He is. And I think, what was it they did in there? They bought Doherty, didn't they? Spurs bought Doherty. He's out as well. He's not playing. He's out today. He was one of their big summer blockbuster moves last year. So it's shocking. It's absolutely shocking. And hey, Vincey, how you doing, bro?
Yeah, not bad, man. What's going on, family? How you doing?
Yeah. Big things are going. Oh, let me see if I can fit Vincey in here with this. Can I get the team sheet back in? Yeah, yes, I can. Yeah. We were just talking about predictions. A lot of guys you probably see there. Cool K is going for 2-1, 18, 1-1, Gary 3-1, Daniel 3-1 to Arsenal as well. I'm actually going to go 2-1 to Arsenal tonight. I didn't put a prediction in the heading. Didn't do that because I just thought tonight I just want to enjoy the game. But now, bun that. I'm going 2-1 Arsenal. Vincey, what are you saying?
It's a hard one. I'd love us to win, but I actually think we're going to lose tonight. It'd just be nice the way the season's gone for us to cap it off. But we don't do things. We don't do things easy. So and we're away. Records, you know what I mean? If we win,
it's good. 7 wins in the last 9 away games. It's good.
Yeah, the away record's good, but at their grounds, that's the thing.
God, yeah, 2011, I think it is.
So is it a point? Is it a point for us and we in Europe, or is it a win and we in Europe? Which one?
How do you mean in Europe? In the Champions League?
In Champions League, sorry.
Oh, if we win tonight, okay. That gives us a 7-point gap with 2 games to go, which means Spurs can't get there. And the win tonight, and we're automatically in Champions League. Man United is so far.
I'm going for a draw tonight.
So a draw would mean we would need to win one of our last 2 games.
Yeah, I'm going for a draw tonight.
Yeah. And so team sheet, guys. Let's go through the team sheet. We have Ramsdale in goal. Nothing much to say. He hasn't had much to do over the last few games. Tomiyasu probably going to be at left back again, which was a genius move by Arteta. Absolutely brilliant tactics and setup from the manager there. Holden and Gabriel as centre backs. Cedric is preferred at right back. El Nene and Xhaka in the middle. And then we've got Saka on the right, Martinelli on the left, Odegaard pulling the strings at the 10 role. And then the man in form, the man of the moment in his biggest game of his career, Eden Nketiah, 4 goals in his last 4 starts for Arsenal. And that's how we roll. Tavares, Swanson, White, Lokonga, Patino, Smith Rowe, Pepe, Lacazette, and Leno are on the bench. Let's get rid of this, man, so we can get into all of you guys here. Sporty Jordan in the house. What is good, my brother? I don't know where Tony is. Tony's running on black man time at the moment, so he's late. Yeah. Lewis, I'm not sure where Lewis is, but we are about to start the game. Remember,
got the away scarf on.
Yeah, got the away scarf off. Sporty Jordan also going for 3-1 as well. So that a lot of people favouring 3-1. I think Spurs are really going to be concerned about what's going on with Ramirez. That's a huge loss for them.
What's happened?
A huge loss. Absolutely huge loss. So we're about to, remember, guys, I'm probably about 10 or 15 seconds behind you because I am on the console with Sky Go. So you guys are probably kicked off now.
I'm watching Premier League, whatever channel that is.
Have you kicked off? Oh, referee, by the way, guys, Paul Tierney. He's a ref tonight. He's handed out 4 penalties to Arsenal in the last 12 games, refereeing them. So a lot of people are talking about going to the bookies and putting your money on Kane scoring first by the penalty spot. We've kicked off on my side.
I'm just saying my prayers on mine because the players are saying their prayers as well. So.
Oh, Nketiah going at them already. How are they giving that a free kick? Get out of here. And so, Vincent, you'll have to tell me what your timing is. I'm already at 20 seconds.
Man, I'm on some IVPN stream. That is.
I hope that will be close because it will tell us. And by the way, guys, 101 on Arsenal is featured now in these multi-channel reviews. You know, they have these channels that show you all fan reactions from different various YouTube channels. We're on there as well. I did watch us in the Chelsea game. It was fun seeing all of you guys going going crazy.
I've just kicked off. I'm on beIN Sports now.
Oh, okay. And I'm at 50. I'm at 59 seconds. Gary's already ahead of us, so that's good. Gary's probably watching the mainstream. And we've got Martinelli here on the left-hand side. You can see Spurs are just scared, man. Spurs are just running scared. But Remember what I said, guys. The key to this game is Arsenal maintaining possession and not playing too high up the pitch, because
I'm
that
at
is
1 minute
where...
now. I'm at 1 minute now.
Okay, that's good because I'm at 120. So I'm not that far ahead of you. Oh, penalty. What? What's Gary saying? Oh, no. The referees just waved it away. Yeah, referees waved it away. Yeah, it looked like a dive for me from Eddie. I want to see a replay on that, because you need to be careful that you don't get booked for that. Ball comes in by Odegaard. Eddie takes 2 touches
Yeah, it
on
was
it.
a dive.
It was a dive, yeah. So he's lucky not to get booked for that, in my opinion. You know, there's no bigger Eddie fan than I am, but inside of 2 minutes, Odegaard finds him. Nice pass by Odegaard as well. I think the referee might have had a word with Nketiah, but Dyer comes into him. There's no contact. He throws himself to the ground. Yeah.
I can't deal with it. I can't deal with a yellow card in fantasy from Eddie tonight. I need every single point to try and catch Tom Ashton. So that's the.
And then Gary says, "Where's VAR?" Oh God, guys, this is the magnitude of this game is just ridiculous.
Are you guys nervous? I don't seem to be nervous. I mean, listen. I'm just enjoying the position where Arsenal is, because they were ahead of where I thought they would be at the end of this stage of the season. So
agreed. Arsenal just rushing the back line and won the ball back with Saka. Suarez comes in. Odegaard has a shot, and it is saved by the goalkeeper. That was just the persistence of Saka and Nketiah just running at the defense back line. Spurs are running scared right now. They are playing scared. Arsenal just throwing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 players. Arsenal throwing 6 players at Spurs while they're trying to play the ball out. And Arsenal just putting Spurs under huge, tremendous amounts of pressure. Sporty Jordan says, Spurs clearly in the counter-attack mode. That's the only way they can win. When they play teams like Liverpool, Man City, all those teams that come at them and have lots of possession, Spurs' trick is to beat them on the counter-attack. Hey, Nay, hope you're doing well. Hope you're doing well. Vincey, so the only way, Vincey, that we can sort of manage the game is to not play too high at the pitch. You can see here the pressure we got on them on the get-go.
Yeah, we just got to just keep the intensity, start well. When we get a chance, take it, silence the crowd.
Ooh, Eddie nearly got in again.
It's going to be a tough one.
Arsenal are sitting right on their doorstep. So Spurs is the home team, and they look like the away team right now. Arsenal has stockpiled the final third, and the pressure comes in again. Arsenal win it back. But I think it's Xhaka loses the ball. They won it back, but Xhaka lost it. And this is where Spurs can hurt you on the break. Spurs come down. It's a tackle from Gabriel.
Buffering, come on.
And Gabriel gets fouled. Gabriel's not having it. You don't want to mess around with that with Gabriel, whoever you are. He's a tower of strength, a monumental tower of strength. Don't pick an argument and a fight with Gabriel. The two make up and we go along. But that was just an example, guys, of Tottenham's strategy to try and hit the ball long on the counter on the break and try and catch Arsenal on the back foot. That time, Arsenal was 4 against 2 in Arsenal's favour, so they dealt with it really well. Sorry, Vincey.
My stream just died. I'm at 450, 452 now.
5:30 I am. Ramsdale with the kick. Arsenal started really, really well, guys. But like I said, it's critical that Arsenal, when they attack, have to make sure that Harry Kane and Song are marked, because they're the ones that can get you on the counter-attack. Song just tried to get the ball off of Rob Holding, but he just bounces off Rob Holding.
Yeah, I got some bouncing streams right now.
Arsenal looking pretty well balanced and covered in this game right now. This could be it, guys. This could be it. I love the pressure that we've been putting on Spurs at the back. They just look like they can't handle us at the moment. 3 times we've won the ball back and Arsenal come again. But Spurs trying to hit the long ball, trying to get Song going. And again, but that time it goes out around. Spurs right now are a one-trick pony. They're a one-trick pony. They're just playing long balls over.
Yeah, I've just lost my stream.
Trying to
Get up another one.
So Spurs have got a throw in. I've just messaged Andy. Nay says, yep, we've started well. Yeah, we have. I love the way we started the game. It's all about dictating the tempo. It's all about dictating. The cross comes in from Spurs. Gabriel clears, even though it looked like Ramsdale had it covered. Yeah, Gary said almost caught out there on a throw. Yep. Spurs are going to have their moments, guys. They're going to have their moments, but we just have to quell with the pressure. And we've only got 2 men to really worry about. Arsenal in possession now. They break on the left-hand side. Xhaka gives the ball to Martinelli. Martinelli's just moving the ball up. He's got options.
How far am I behind? I'm on 7:15 now.
I'm on 8 minutes.
Okay, all right.
So Arsenal quite happy to sit with the ball. Xhaka got the ball now, crosses the ball in, but it comes away. We got to just take our time with those things, man. We're controlling possession. Suarez has got the ball on the right. He puts the ball in to Saka. Saka has a long shot, but it's not going anywhere. Kuke says 1-0 to the Arsenal would be quite the poetic scoreline in a match of this magnitude. Agreed. Gary says Spud's 15 men behind the ball. Yeah, they really have no build-up play, you know. Everything that they do in which works. Song is running now. Song is running at the Arsenal defense. Where's the cover?
They're just soaking it. They're just soaking up our pressure right now. We know they're going to come. They're going to come back at us. Gives me enough time to find a decent stream as well.
Yeah. Oh, that's good. Look how deep Eddie's had to come for the ball. Eddie's just done a silly back heel there and lost the ball, but silly spot crossbar. Eddie can't do that, man. You can't do them silly little tricks in a game like this, Eddie, man. Play a man's game, yeah? None of those little showboating moves. You're not there yet to be doing all them thing there. But those are one of the moments, guys, where Tottenham catch Arsenal off their game, where you can see Spurs players just swarming into the box. But we have to defend that. We have to defend that. Take it very, very carefully. Tony, how are you getting on, man?
I'm good, pal. Good.
Excellent.
I thought we were off, and then we was on, and then we was off, and then we was on. So
it's one of those, man. I think the game has started very well in terms of Arsenal's intensity.
Yeah, for sure. You know, we've been on the front foot. We've had a shot on target already.
Song is down, but he's playing silly bollocks. Just ignore all that.
Yeah.
Gary says Conte has won only 1 out of 8 against Arsenal. By early signs, it doesn't look like the game I thought we were going to walk into. Let's put it that way. Whether that's anything to do with Romero missing, or whether just Arteta setting his team up. I mean, I love the team sheet. Arteta set the team up. Not exactly how I thought he would. I thought he would be a bit patient, but he's gone really aggressive. You can see now, I'm at 10 minutes to 45. You can see Spurs trying to play the ball out of the back, and they're just struggling, man. Spurs are getting no time on the ball. And every time this happens, Arsenal's just winning the ball back. Look, here we go again. Arsenal maintain possession. Spurs are not getting any time on the ball. And this is hurting their build-up play. Look, Song and Holding going into it there. I thought I saw a little bit of an elbow from Song. And Dyer, what's Dyer doing there? It's Holden and Song are just getting
That
physical.
definitely looks like an elbow from Song.
Yeah, I did see that. Gary's pointed it out as well. There's an elbow when they're standing up, and there's another elbow when he's sitting down. So that's 2 elbows on Song. The intent.
VAR need to look at that.
I think so. The referee's had a word with him
because it's got to be at the very least a yellow card.
Yeah.
I need him to stay on for my dream team, man. I see the elbow. Get a yellow.
I'm gonna wind up Andy now and tell him 2 elbows from Song.
Is he gonna come on?
No, Andy's at the game.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's at the game. Yeah, and Gary says VAR didn't even look, isn't it? There wasn't.
You saying that it's the North London derby, you got to expect some of the afters.
Yeah.
You got to expect it. You know, there's some games that where you go, that that would have a look at, but some games you just kind of think, you know what, I'm gonna let some things just blow, because that's the intensity in a game like this. You expect that kind of stuff. Nobody wants to give an inch.
Sporty Jordan says VAR is on the Kit Kat break. Kuke says Eddie is on the juice tonight. He's always on the juice, my brother. He's always juiced up, man.
Oh,
Eddie's ready to go, man.
What's up, Sporty Jordan? I did nearly think about coming out and seeing the game with you, but boy, I work them sides, so I was like, when I come home, just thought, I can't be bothered to go all the way back out there again.
Yeah. The one adjustment it looks like. Let me have a look. So I'm going to point out something tactically here, which you guys might have missed. Well, probably not might have missed it because I've been talking about it for the last 10 minutes. One of the big tactics here is in the first game, Song was giving Cedric quite a ride. What they've done, what Arteta's done is he's pulled Holding over to that side to manage Song. And what he's done is he's left Gabriel one-on-one with Kane. But Cedric is now able to have a slightly deeper role to help cover Kane. So it's almost like it's Holding one-on-one with Song, and then it's Kane and Gabriel. It's Suarez and Gabriel on Kane. And that's what it looks like that Arteta is going for, and it's pretty much worked well to nullify what Tottenham are doing now. But Arsenal just look very comfortable in the midfield.
Yeah, I tell you what, I don't know if you've picked this up in weeks gone by, but the same thing is happening again today. The single pivot.
Yep.
So you've got to look at where
Martinelli.
Where Xhaka is positioning himself. He's literally like way ahead.
And that's, I was talking to, oh God, I can't remember what his name is in the forum today. I think Vincey saw it. They were talking about Xhaka and Tielemans, and I came in and said, well, the Xhaka's done a bang-up job at the moment for the team in that position, but he's no one in number 8. It is a number 8 role. It's the Ramsey role. That's what they're looking for. And you need to have to be able to get yourself involved in all aspects of the game. As a number 8, Martinelli comes into the box. He comes in, he cuts it back. Oh, Odegaard just looked like he had Dyer right in front of him, so he couldn't connect with it. But it's a great run by Martinelli there. Great run by Martinelli. And this, if you're a Spurs fan, this is where you have to be worried, because you've got so much pace on the left, so much pace on the right. You've got Eddie nipping at your heels in the middle, and there's just not a moment's rest for Spurs defense here. And the midfield just can't deal with it. The midfield can't support all of the pressure that's coming on from Arsenal. And honestly, if I was looking at this game as a neutral, I would think that Arsenal were the home team. Spurs now trying to press Arsenal.
Eddie just needed to call and let Odegaard have a shot there.
Yeah, look at Saka. That's fair. That's fair. That's a foul. That's a foul. And he gets a yellow card. Right, yeah. So Saka, that's a great play by Saka there. So Saka presses to win the ball back when it's played back. It's not a bad touch from the Spurs defender. It's not a bad touch. But Saka is on him. They're level. He shoulders him. Saka wins the ball, just about to run into the penalty box. And it's Davis. Davis just trips him over and earns himself a yellow card. Free kick to Arsenal. Ben Davis earns himself a booking there. You know what you do for the rest of the game, guys? You give it to Saka and let him keep running at Davis.
Yeah.
Conte's furious.
Poor.
Because it was a barge. A fair 50-50 barge is fine. Some referees don't like it. Other referees say it's part of the game. But what Spurs were looking for there was to get a free kick from Saka barging him to the floor. But it was completely fair. Free kick to Arsenal. Odegaard about to take it. 17 minutes and 20 seconds gone. There's a little bit of a pushing and shoving there in the box. Odegaard gets free kick in. And it's blocked. It's come out. Oh. And that's wasted. Vincey.
Yeah, man. Just about to see the free kick now, man. It's No, I mean we look to have a good, bright little start. It's a bit of a scrappy game.
I'll take
In the
scrappy.
final third, in the final ball, it's a bit scrappy, but it's a derby game, man. It's a 90-minute game, so
Conte's getting a right old telling off, any from the fourth official.
Yeah, he is. Arsenal again dealing with that. Martinelli.
Oh boy.
Spurs have got the ball now. They're just pressuring Arsenal slightly, but Arsenal are dealing with it. The problem with Spurs is they've just got no creative, progressive input coming from the midfield. You know, for them, they're just trying to get Kane and Son the ball as much as possible. Yeah, it's definitely something. It's definitely something that we've got to deal with. We've just got to defend well in this
Playing
game.
well, buddy.
The thing is, when we're on top, we got to,
Yeah.
and we have chances, we've got to make them count, because Spurs are going to come back at us.
Exactly.
And there hasn't really been a clear-cut chance. So, as I say, it's still a bitty game.
It is. Cross comes in from Spurs. It's dealt with by, and then El Nene's third clearance. Oh, well played, Eddie. Eddie with a great hold-up play, but it's given away by Xhaka. Eddie done well there. See how deep Eddie's having to come to help win the ball back for the team. That's just an asset. If you have a striker like that, and on the flip of a coin be on the other side as soon as you break, that's just an asset. Oh shit.
What's that?
Penalty to Tottenham. The referee's just pointing to the spot. I didn't even see what was going on there. It looked like a handball. I think VAR's going to have to take a look at this. Cedric on the back of Song. How is that a penalty?
Really?
Oh, that's so light. So the ball comes in here. That's not a penalty. What the hell are they talking about?
Yeah,
You've got to look at that.
Well, okay, so it looks like there's a nudge in the back of Song.
No, there is no nudge. What is that? That's
so soft. That is so soft. it looks like he's actually off balance. It doesn't look like it's something which is anyway. All the bookies are loving it because the bookies was for Kane to score first from the penalty spot. I did say to you guys before the game started, I said that this guy
was it holding the back of his hand?
No,
they've given it against Cedric though.
It's the nudge against Song.
Yeah,
the nudge.
Yeah. Kane never misses these. Yeah, he's gone the other way. So it's a very strange one, guys, because Arsenal have been the better team in the first 20 minutes, and they find themselves 1-0 down, which is out of nothing, really. I mean, that was a really soft penalty. That's about as soft a penalty as you'll find.
Oh, what?
Yeah, that was a very soft. But I mean, look, it happens. I just think in a game of this magnitude, you can't afford to have things happen like that. I didn't think there was anything wrong with it, and I'll tell you why, guys. Because Cedric looks like he's actually off balance when he goes into the play. If you look here, look, Cedric's actually got his back turned. He's
definitely has got his back turned.
Look at that. He's being carried by the momentum of the two players around him, and he's actually off balance. So it's not something that he's meaning to actually do. That, in my eyes, that's not a penalty. I'm not saying that just because I'm an Arsenal fan, but that was a very, very soft penalty. Style saying that was an extremely soft penalty. Sporty saying it was a soft penalty.
Yeah.
Nay saying, how is that a penalty? Jokers. Yeah, I agree. Same old story. Arsenal have the bomb switched off and can see. I don't even think that it's Arsenal's fault. I really don't. I'm not blaming anybody in that situation. I know some people are going to say it's Cedric's fault, but I just don't.
No, that's not his fault.
Yeah, I just think. Oh, God.
Okay,
it's all to do now.
We can get back.
Yeah. I mean, we've been the better team, so there's no two ways we can get back into this.
Why is he turning his back in that situation?
Because he was off balance. As I said, if you look
at it... Are
you
talking about the penalty or that free kick just now?
The penalty.
Oh. Well.
The penalty...
I just think it's clumsy.
If you look at it, Cedric is caught in between two players. It looks like Sanchez. It looks like Sanchez and Song, the forward momentum. That's why he's twisted his body. That's why he's getting turned around. So he's not intentionally elbowing Song in his back to push him. It's just the momentum of him being sandwiched between the two players. Anyway, cross comes in from Arsenal. Oh, Odegaard gets the ball. Lloris does well there. I don't know how. Gary says, got to challenge the ball, not play the man. Yeah, if he wasn't being carried in terms of his forward momentum, he would have jumped up and challenged for the cross. But you could see he was just caught in traffic. Anyway, the bookies are happy because Kane's going to be paying them out some big money today at the moment. Hit a like on the channel, guys. For those of you who are watching, like this video and tell me what your thoughts are about the game. Have we got another yellow card here? And this one looks like it's going to Rob Holding. So Holding and Song. Holding just
that's not a yellow card.
Yeah, it's not.
Wow, that's the softest yellow I've ever seen. The man is on his feet.
Yeah, that's not a yellow card.
Like, literally, what has he done? He
Yeah.
kicked the ball with the first touch. Yeah, there's a kind of a hold.
But you know what that the yellow is for? Is for what's happened earlier on. That's why he stuck his 2 fingers up the ref. And this is now now you can see the ref's going to start getting bitty.
Yeah, because what that does is that hurts Arsenal's game plan where he's supposed to be the facilitator to help with Song.
It was holding him, so
Cedric's just giving the ball away now. Oh, great block by Tomiyasu there. For Harry Kane. Great block there. Cedric just gave the ball away there. Sloppy.
Badly.
Sloppy defending from Cedric. You can see here. I don't know who he was giving the ball to. But look who was the saviour. Tomiyasu comes over and he gets that right leg out and blocks Kane's shot. It did look like it was going to go in bottom right corner. If I look here, look at the shot. Yeah, it looked like it was that might have gone in as well. Arsenal's got to gain momentum. Bobby's saying, where's the foul or the handball? I'm genuinely puzzled. Gary's saying, worst thing to go behind because they had no intention of playing from the start. Well, they were trying to play, Gary, but we were just pressuring them. So I don't know. I don't know whether Arteta changes his tactics now. I don't think he needs to.
No, it's too early. I mean, we're in this game. We're in this game. It's not like we're being overrun.
Yeah.
Just got to use the ball better. Get established play, man. We've kind of gone off the ball the last 7 minutes. Just get our foothold back in the game.
And it's funny, when you have these big games against top teams, these are fine lines. Giving away a penalty, getting a red card, all the bookings, these are fine lines. And when you play a Man United, a Man City, a Liverpool, a Chelsea, or a Spurs, you have to play squeaky clean football, because one little thing, one tiny thing can change the swing. You can see, look, Arsenal just stacked again on Spurs back line, and Arsenal win it back. All this pressing and everything has really worked. Arsenal win it back. Odegaard gives the ball to Xhaka. Xhaka just goes, Xhaka, oh God. Right, okay. I'm not going to comment on that one.
I didn't see what happened, man.
Xhaka had a shot that went to Rose. I'm not worried about that. I'm not worried about that.
Well, I'm not even going to talk about it.
I'm more confident in the fact that he's actually having a shot from there, because he's got something. He can hit the target from there. It's something.
Oh, Martinelli, well played. Great football by Martinelli.
He's balling again.
Yeah. Yeah. What Xhaka had there was Eddie in the slip and Martinelli on the left, and that would have been the safer option. Great tenacity by Martinelli there. He took on 3 players.
Yeah.
That's what you need. Spurs on the attack again. It's played through to Harry Kane. And who was it? It was Suarez. Made a great tackle from Cedric Suarez. What a tackle. What a tackle from Suarez. You can see the ball comes in. It's a great tackle. He's with Kane all the way.
Yeah. It's well seen. The fact that Kane was in that space in the first place was kind of worrying. But yeah, he made it back up. He made back up the space, because Kane was in a position. I don't know how he finds himself in that amount of space. Literally.
Well, it's the counter attack. That's what we're talking about.
But you can't afford to leave that guy in that amount of space. There's a couple of players at Spurs. You can't afford to leave them behind your back line. I understand you got to take a gamble. You got to press up with your wing backs, but there's a time and a place for that.
It was giving her away again. So why is it giving the ball away so much, man? That's a great play by Odegaard. Odegaard just nicks the ball off Song. Well played.
Oh, that was El Neni giving it away.
Right. Oh my God. Oh no. Oh, this is all going wrong for us, guys. This is all going wrong. Oh my God.
Who scored?
Oh my God. Oh, this is all going wrong for us. Oh, this is all going wrong. Oh shit. Oh, Rob Holding's been red carded. Why is it's because the first one wasn't a yellow? It was never a yellow card.
Yeah, Apollo. So what's happened earlier on before that? So it leads to the yellow. Ref said 2. So the challenges before, hence the free kick. So you know what I mean?
How is he sent off in a game like this? How?
It's a derby, man. That's incident that happened earlier on. The incident that happened earlier on has set it up.
The ball comes in from Dyer and Rob Holding. So Rob Holding gets booked for a slight elbow there, and Song elbowed him twice before and didn't even get a booking.
Really? That is just soft. Oh, I've just seen it.
But Song elbowed him twice before and didn't get a booking.
Wow.
This is bullshit, man.
Yeah. That's
okay, so we see you, referee.
Yeah,
we see you.
We've seen that. Yeah. We know the agenda there.
We know the deal. We know the agenda. Let's move on to Newcastle.
You can't do that in a game, man.
That is bullshit.
But the thing is, bullshit. You say that, Tom, but he was on the receiving end of that.
Yeah, but guys, come on, man. If that was on the opposite side, it would be calling
yellow. That's a soft yellow, bro.
Yeah, but after what's happened, yellow. guys.
Did he hurt the man? No.
It's not about hurt, man. Guys, listen. The guy's on a yellow card. What are you doing that when you're on a yellow card?
It's not even. He didn't even move his arm out. Are you kidding me? He didn't even move his arm out. Look, so I agree with Vincey. You're on a yellow card. You can't do nothing. But he didn't do nothing.
He didn't do anything there.
Come on, man. if he kept his arm by his side, then he didn't do nothing, man. You know, we're in a situation where we need maturity and cool heads in the North London derby, and that is just stupid, man.
34 minutes gone.
Stupid.
You're away from home in a game that you have to win. Ain't gonna happen, guys.
You know, there's other players on the pitch who, if they did that, will be castrating them. That is just foolishness, man.
It's just a game to and you know, a draw would have been a good result today. Oh, this is just Gary says plain stupid. Kea says if that was Conte, he would have changed Holding from the 20th minute. The reason why there is a little bit of that to it, and I did make the comment 5 minutes ago. I said there goes your game plan, because Holding was supposed to deal with Song on the overlap. So that's the reason why he was integral to the setup and the tactics. So that's why he stayed on. But I do take your point. It says, why are we blaming Xhaka for Holding's incompetence? Who's blaming Xhaka? Was anybody? What? Oh, there's 18 saying games like this, Xhaka is just way off the pace. If you're looking for a game changer, Xhaka ain't your guy. Daniel saying we've been set up. Yeah, I think it is. Tony's hit it on the nail there. I think, you know, we see you, referee. We see where you are. And before this, I said that he sent 4 of us off in the 12 games that he's managed and given Kane penalties against these two sides. So thank you very much, referee Tierney. Thank you very much.
We got to do better in that situation, guys.
Yeah.
It's as I said before, if there's other players that are on the pitch now and they did that, we'll be ripping them one and turning around saying that they're a liability, they're this, they're that. I'm not expecting that.
I don't see that as a foul, Tom. Sorry.
No, it's all over anyway, man. We ain't going to win this game. Corner comes in, Kane's at the back post and he heads it in for 2-0.
I didn't expect us to win it. I said it. It's
yeah.
But you know what? I'm not giving up. Even though it's 2-0, we just gotta, we got to pay for the badge, man. Don't go stupid and get a hammering, because that's gonna affect confidence.
Yeah, for sure, man.
Be professional. You know what I mean?
But it's just the manner in which it's happened. It's just the manner of which it's happened. And remember, we are the number 1 team in the league on set pieces. It looks like Eddie Nketiah plays Kane onside there. It looks like he plays him onside there. So that's just a little bit inexperienced, although we see people do that every week. So I'm not sure whether we can completely single Eddie out on that one, but he does play him onside. Arsenal are the number 1 team in the league on set pieces, defending set pieces, and we let one in on a corner. Sporty says Eddie's in 2 minds. I think Eddie is. I think he is in 2 minds because he can feel Kane on his back. He can feel him on him, and he's thinking to himself, if I step out, I'm going to leave him open.
Again, this is one of them where you go, somebody has got to be responsible for Harry Kane.
And it can't be a striker.
Can't be that guy. Can't be that guy.
He was ball watching anyway in that situation. You shouldn't have been there. The last defender was further up. It's, as Tony says, somebody should have been in that situation earmarked on him. Eddie's not the man.
They've lost their momentum and everything is gone now. They're defending for their lives. Yeah, I mean, you'd like to think that we were going to probably try and get something out of this game, but it's not going to happen. KS says, I can't believe he didn't change Holding. First mistake is not playing Tommy at right back to Mark Song. Arteta owns us lack of. I thought the strategy was working really well up until, it was a light penalty. It was a soft penalty. It was a soft red card. Soft. It's soft. Gary says Holding to blame, nobody else, for challenges on Song have cost us and not making, and he's going to have to take that. As Vincey rightly said, Holding's going to have to take that responsibility that you're a veteran player on the team. And I don't think he was throwing us under the bus intentionally. As me and Tony said, it's not even his arm. Look, when you elbow a guy, your arm's supposed to go like that, right? His arm's tucked into his body. Anybody tell me about his elbow in the player? There's a slight movement from it, but it's not intentional. How are you even going to get a booking for that? Let alone a yellow card to get sent off. Gary doesn't reckon that they're actually softs. Oh, he's talking about the red. Yeah, no, Gary,
Apollo, we're going to go back to the situation with Martinelli, yeah? When Martinelli gets sent off, when there's 2 yellows, all right? Okay. Holding's on a yellow. Look at the situation that happened that led before he got the yellow, yeah? There was elbows, there was, it was a North London hard challenge. The ref let that go, right? Gave the free kick to Spurs, okay? What happens now? The next challenge, remember, all his challenges in sequence. He holds his hand up to say, 2 challenges, he's giving them a yellow for that first one. What happens the second time? You don't go and get the ball. You do that right in front of the referee. What's the referee going to do? He's going to give you a yellow. Second yellow, you're off.
That's soft, Tom. That's really soft.
Listen, man, it's a North London derby. You called it. You said there's certain challenges. The ref said to him, after that challenge that was quite heated, and we were saying that Son elbowed him, and if he went to VAR, Son would have been off, but it didn't. After that, his 2 challenges, his first one, he got a yellow, and was told the second 2 challenges, yellow. This one, right in front of the ref, again, right in front of the ref. It could be soft, but you just don't do that.
So Spurs get a red card. Oh, what's this? Spurs get a red card. Arsenal score 2 goals and it ends 2-2. I'm calling it. 18, you're on the rum already, bro. You see, 18, Midepande Elderflower Juice. I can't do the Bayesian accent like Vincey, so I'll just have to just squeeze it in.
Man. This is frustrating because we're in a good position, but
yeah, it's one game. It's not going to define us. It's not going to define us, guys. Gary says almost free. Terry, what's going on, Terry? Terry says, would love to know what the halftime pep talk's going to be. It's going to be, lads, you lost your rag, you lost your heads. And don't feel too bad about it because it was soft. The manager's just going to defend his players, and rightly so. Chaos says Cedric can't defend himself, lacks awareness. I can't 100% agree with that. I think 2 things. He's shown in this game that he can mark and can defend, but he's also shown that just like every other defender in the Premier League, he will struggle against Kane and Son. So
the problem we've got for a good portion of this first half, we've really we've really lost control of that midfield and
it's quite. Let's talk about this formation because this is something of a madness.
So before we do that, Nketiah nearly puts Arsenal on the score sheet. A lovely little chip. He dinks it over the defender. Loris has to be at full stretch. It's actually a great save. The ball's dipping into the under corner of the net. And Lloris makes an amazing save. Yeah. Save of the game so far.
So let's talk about this formation because we haven't addressed this huge change in formation where we've gone to a back 3. Is it a back 3? No, it's a back 4.
It's a back 4.
It's a 4.
But it's Tomiyasu on the right side of the centre backs. And
Tony, in liberal terms, it's basically a back 5 because El Nene drops into the defence. Holding goes wide, right to the right, and Cedric tucks in. Yeah,
and this is what I'm and this is what I'm saying. We've lost control of the midfield. You know.
Oh, sorry, you're not talking about now. All right, sorry, I thought you were talking about when you started the game. All right.
Yeah, so that's the formation.
Oh my God! Oh, you fluffed it.
That's the formation, but you know, for a good portion of this first half, we've lost control of our play in the midfield. Overrun, and
so this is the first instance. They're showing a replay. That's not a yellow card. I'm sorry. It's not a yellow card. So the second one, the second one is debatable. But and you know, if it's a booking, it's a booking. But the first one is definitely not a yellow card. The first one, there's no way the first one's a yellow card. I can't. I'm
the
not
second
doing that.
one, Son runs into his shoulder.
Yeah, it's soft. He plays it. He sells it.
It's absolutely ridiculous, Todd,
He's
that you can say that's a yellow card when a man runs into your shoulder and then falls over. It's a joke.
He's selling it. He's selling it. Carletto says this game was decided before it even started. Exactly. Thank you. Thank you very much, Carletto. Sporty says Holding as an old school defender is looking for the ref to let them play on. I think you have to listen to what Tony said in that last remark. For me, the elbow, the movement of the elbow is very, very, very small.
It's not. It doesn't even get hit by the elbow. It's his face ends up on Holding's shoulder.
Yeah, he sells it. He's selling it. He's selling it. And the ref bought it.
If you headbutt a man in his shoulder, how does that end up being a foul?
Go on, cross it. Go on. Oh.
I'm sure you're going to hear at the end of the game that the referee's spoken to them about that incident where we were saying that if it went to VAR, Son would have been sent off. Yeah, I'm sure you're going to hear feedback from that. And when you see the challenge on Son where he got the yellow card, that second yellow card. It's just like that.
Sorry, say that again, Tom.
Yeah, I'm just saying you're going to see. Yes, Son probably ran into where he's blocking his path, but what happened when he got that the incident earlier on where they spoke to both of them? Yeah, it's the same type of play where elbows up. Son could have been off. We know Son could have been off.
For what?
It didn't go to VAR, guys. It didn't go to VAR. The ref saw.
If it had gone to
Tony,
VAR,
hold on. Tony, listen. Tony, listen. In clear sight of the ref, okay? The ref has spoken to the players. How hard is it? How hard is it?
Hey guys, hear the joke.
How hard is it to recognize that the referee has said to them before in clear sight, and he does it in clear sight of the referee? What's the ref going to do?
So, I'm sorry,
he's going to give him a yellow. He didn't give him a clear red.
He gave him a yellow. It's half time.
He gave him a yellow. It wasn't a red. He gave him a yellow, and it's his second yellow.
I'm sorry. Are you talking about the incident where Son runs into a man's shoulder and gets the other man a yellow card?
Do you seriously think that was his shoulder? I've seen it in slow motion. I saw it in normal speed, and I said the same thing. If another player did that to us, if another player, guys, if another player, hold on, let me finish. Let me finish. If another player did that to us, every single one on the forum and in the chat would be calling for. And I'm just not being biased. I'm just saying how it is.
So Bertram's made a comment about Arteta's incompetence for not changing Holding before the second yellow is alarming. Poor game management. I did make a comment on that, Bertram, and I said that Holding was integral to the tactics and the setup in regards to defending Song on that side in the back five. So I do take the argument both ways. Yes, I think that it would have been smart in hindsight because he's been sent off. It's nice to say when the event's actually over, but what were our options? Ben White apparently is only 80%, and we're talking about hamstring. So you put Ben White on there against a man like Song, and it's likely that you're going to re-injure the hamstring again. It wasn't a decision that I think that and who else could he put on there?
I don't think it's on Arteta, it's on the player. You know.
Yeah, I agree. But you know,
it's on the player.
Bertrand says, Apollo, I mentioned this in the forum just before it happened. Yeah. You did. And I agree. And I agreed, but I said the reason why he didn't do it, which was you do that and you're going away from your initial game plan, which you've set out to sort of portray in this game. We talked about it in the first 10 minutes. That was integral to Arteta's strategy, and it was working. But the problem was it was overly physical. Song had 2 elbows on Holding. Holding got that light yellow, that soft yellow, which I don't know how you give a yellow card for that. He's standing over the player. His feet don't come out and make contact with him at any point. And yet Holding's given a yellow. I don't understand the first yellow. We can debate about the second yellow as much as we like, but the first one's not a yellow card. It isn't. And even you would admit that, Vincey.
Apollo, the ref has cautioned 2 players. Guys, you got to understand the rules of football, yeah? If the referee cautions the player, yeah, it could be soft, yeah, but he's cautioned them all before and said, you know what, the next time, guess what? So what's happened? We've had 2 soft yellows. Why? Because the referee's spoken to the player and are in discipline. We're not talking about it, you know, the guy's injured or anything, but come on, let's be real. What is Rob Holding doing in that situation after the referee's spoken to him? No one's talking about that. Everyone's talking about saying that the refs bent and all this.
Yeah, I mean, what is he doing in that situation? I don't think you can really argue that because it was his job to mark him, right? So he's got to be near him in that situation.
Let's paint this in a completely different way. Yeah. If Xhaka did this, Will we be having the same conversation, or will we be saying something else different?
I'm not answering that because
Okay.
I'll let Tony answer that. Tony, he's got a question for you on Xhaka.
That's the reality of the situation.
It's not about whether it's Xhaka or any other player. Yeah, this is a simple one where you and I differ. Yeah, we differ.
That's cool.
Yeah, I'm not gonna condone that challenge, that decision in any way, shape, or form, because to me, when I look and see what's going on in the game, that there's neither of those incidents warrants what we've had. One yellow card was not a yellow. The second yellow card was not a yellow. The penalty was not a penalty. We're gonna go around the houses saying it, Tone, but it is what it is. At the end of the day, I've looked. I'm about to see it again. We're at halftime. We're gonna see it slow down. We're gonna see all the.
Yeah, let's see what the other guys think.
Yeah.
First big decision, Theo.
Right, here we go.
Says Paul Tierney for the foul on Son.
Yeah, well, first of all, you obviously know left foot is going to cross it in, and I feel like he's made the contact very early. I've got to agree with Gary in commentary, just saying that he's small size. He's worried about his obviously on the left back coming in there. Yeah, for me, it's a penalty. It's one of those I probably want as a forward as well. I think Son's probably going to make contact with the header, and obviously at Tottenham, you're probably going to get that here. I would have thought.
That's the angle that the referee.
Walcott says it's a penalty, and so do the guys in the studio.
Any doubt that Harry Kane?
Okay.
As soon as Harry got the ball in his hand, we knew straight away he was going to convert it. Very brilliant, obviously, at penalties, and Spurs wrote it up the first 20 minutes, but they actually got a gift.
And then 2 yellow cards in 7 minutes for Rob Holding, who was in a running battle with Son right from the start.
These are 2 incidents before he'd even been booked. We spoke before the game in these derby matches. A match of this magnitude, cool heads. Don't do anything silly. That's a silly thing. He's doing judo moves in the football field. Then he gets caught again, and it becomes an accumulation. That is obviously a booking. Once you've been booked,
how is that a booking though?
You don't want to get too tight to Son, who wants to running behind you. You've already.
I don't see a booking there. He actually touches the ball with his feet. With the first yellow.
Certainly don't get too tight to him like this. And that is definitely, and that even could be a red card. You can see he puts his elbow up there.
Where does he put his elbow
really
up?
Poor decision from Rob Holding. But then I must admit, I think the manager gets it wrong. Once you lose your centre back, first rule is get another centre back on the pitch as soon as you can. He should have got Ben White on. He doesn't.
He can't get Ben White on. I just told Bertrand he can't get Ben White on because Ben White's only 80% fit. He's coming from just come back from a hamstring.
Awful. That second one, Tone. I'm sorry, buddy. That's the most ridiculous red card ever. Because the man physically runs into his shoulder.
Do you think that those 2 yellows was worse than Martinelli's?
You can't compare Martinelli's to anything because it's never been done in the history of the game.
No, but it's 2 yellows. It's for 2 yellows.
No, it wasn't. Martinelli's issue was never done before in the history of it. Nobody's ever seen it before, and he probably never will.
No, but Apollo, he wasn't given a straight red. He was given 2 yellows. Okay? So the question I'm asking you is 2 yellows, 2 yellows. Tony's just said 2 yellows was the weakest. Yeah? I'm asking you, is it
totally different incidents, Tone? Totally different
both of those were continuous plays, even though he didn't stop it. But they were both yellows, 2 yellows that the ref gave it.
No, they weren't 2 yellows, Tone.
So both of them were not straight reds. You can go into the history book.
It's a different situation.
They were both not straight reds. So you just said, Tony.
I can even go. I'll give you the yellow, the first one, because now I've seen it again. It looks very soft, but I'll give it to you on the basis of you did it there, you did it there, you did it there. You're now getting the yellow. Yeah, I'll get that one.
Because you play the game. The
second one, Tone, I'm sorry, man, runs into your shoulder. That's not a yellow card at all.
You think he ran into his shoulder?
If you can't see that, bro.
No, I'm asking you. I'm just asking you. Because
what are you asking me?
You think he ran into his shoulder?
I don't think it. I know it. I saw it.
And this is why we beg to differ, because at the end of the day, if you ran into his shoulder, yeah, Rob Holding made no attempt to play the ball, to run into the ball, and he went like that. You see where I was now here, Tony? Tony, look at the screen. He was here, and he went like that.
I'm on an advert at the moment. Are they going to?
Yeah, that's all right. So guys, look, let's move on, because it's both of your opinions, and that's what we're here for. But I think the other issue is some of the fans, Gary, Bertram, they're very, very passionate about the substitution situation, which I did address it, but I'll talk about it again. Gary and Bertram are saying that why didn't they substitute Rob Holding? My answer is twofold. The first thing is Holding was integral to the setup and the tactics in regards to the back five and marking Song. So something which was working quite well for them. Yes, it's a derby. Yes, it's physical. But at the same time, Holding needed to keep his head. Yeah, it didn't look like he did in that situation. That was no way that was the first one was it was you know, when the referee sometimes takes out his card for purpose, not because of an actual incident. He just did it to make a statement. That's what the first yellow card was. It was not a yellow card, anything deservingly of a yellow card, but he did it because he almost had got to that tipping point with Rob Holding. But we've seen in this league where players make tackles among tackles among tackles among tackles, light tackles, little bit harsh tackles, but never get booked for it. 5, 6 times that they go in, referee don't even give him a talking to. This referee, he weren't having it from the get-go. As Carletto and Tony said, it's almost like he made up his mind. The second thing is, not only was he integral to the game plan, but who could you put on at centre-back? You can't. Here's the subs. You can't put Leno on. He's a goalie. You can't put Tavares on. He's an accident waiting to happen, and he's a left-back. Swanson's never played in the Premiership before. Ben White is 80% from a hamstring injury. He's not 100%. And you're going up against Song, remember. So would you put a player who's just come back off a hamstring injury against Song? Nobody would. No manager would do that. You can't put Lokonga in there. Coutinho, no. Smith Rowe, you can't play Smith Rowe there. Pepe, no. Lacazette, no. So the option wasn't there for the manager to make a substitution. Who is he going to bring on?
Can I just say something? Okay. What I've heard a lot this season, okay, is you making excuses for Arteta naming his subs, okay? And I've just listened to you, and you're saying, and you always do this, where you say he can't make a substitution because this play is an accident waiting to happen, and so forth. But what he does do is he puts Tomiyasu, who's a right back, on as left back, who can also play as a centre back. So he's got two centre backs on the subs, two centre backs who he can fill in, with one being White and two being Tavares. If anything happens, he's got a third, which is El Nene. So the manager's got options who he can make. So what I don't like hearing is when you turn around and saying Tavares is an accident waiting to happen, where he's actually a left back who actually, do you know what? He could turn out and have a good game. But he's on the subs bench. He's on the subs bench for a reason. So the manager's got to be able to make a decision. This is where a manager earns his corn. But what you keep on doing is making excuses for him by saying, do you know what? These players on the bench can't perform, so the manager can't make a decision. I can't accept that because the manager.
First of all, all right.
Hold on.
Let me address it.
Let me finish. The manager names subs. You're making excuses for the subs. The manager's got to manage.
Right. So let me answer that. So first of all, I'm not making excuses for the manager. Secondly, if you heard what I said in the stream twice, both to Bertram, I actually agreed that taking him off was probably a wise thing to do. But I also leveled out a balanced view. So when you say sticking up for the manager, that's not true.
Well, you just
because
did.
I did say no. I said no. I agreed. I agreed with Bertram saying that he should have taken him off, but I also made a reason for why he didn't. That is called balance. It's not called
Apollo.
It's not called agenda or anything like that.
No.
It's
we
a
have
balanced
1,
view.
2,
It's
3,
telling you why
4,
he did
5, 6,
what he
7,
should have done,
8, 9
and then
players.
why he didn't do it.
We've got 9 players on the subs bench. And I'm hearing you turning around saying we've got players who are accident waiting to happen and making excuses for a manager who can make substitutions. Tommy Asu is the centre back. Hold on.
Let's talk about the reality. The reality
I'm
is
talking reality. No, you don't like Tavares. That's your agenda. The fact of the matter is, Tommy Asu is a centre back. Okay, if situations happened to our 2 centre backs, the manager has to make a decision. El Nene is another player who you've said can slip into that situation. Stop making excuses for the manager.
So, Vincey, you have to deal with the reality that regardless how you feel about Tavares or I feel about Tavares, what's important is what the manager thinks about Tavares. If the manager thinks that, you're saying he should do this, the manager is not thinking that he would do that if he's not comfortable with it. A manager would only put players. A manager would only put players.
And saying he
I
cannot.
don't need to make excuses because he's doing what he's doing. Yeah,
look in the chat.
He's doing what he's doing, and he will live by what he's doing. And what he's been doing, Vincey, has put this team into 4th place. So something's got to be working in his decision making.
Now you're taking this out of context. We're not talking about 4th place. We are talking about a manager managing a situation.
Right, exactly. And I said to you that he is not comfortable with that, Vincey. You're banging your head against the wall saying he should have done this and he should be comfortable with this player and that player. The reason why he's not doing it, Vincey, because he's not comfortable doing it. That's why he's not doing it.
He makes the subs. He puts the players on the situation on the pitch. He puts the players on the bench. And if the situation calls upon a manager to make the situation dependent on his centre back, guess what he's got to do? He's got to make a decision.
Oh God.
Okay? I played the game long enough. You're not going to put a striker in a position in the centre back. A manager's
Spurs have scored again. They've gone 3-0 up. It's a scrappy goal. It's ridiculous. Yeah, I can't agree, but I accept your point anyway. But the manager, the decisions that are made for subs, tactics, and everything else is down to the manager. And it's frustrating you. It's frustrating Bertram. It's frustrating a few other people in the chat. But what you guys have to understand is Arteta will do that if he's comfortable doing it. He's not comfortable doing it. That is it, period. So if you want to blame the manager for doing that, then that's fine. Blame the manager. But he's not doing it from where I'm looking at it. He's not doing it because he's clearly not comfortable doing it. That was a scrappy 3rd goal that we just saw. The ball comes in here. Gabriel's on the back of Kane. Gabriel does go down to the floor. The ball is just not dealt with. It's sitting in the penalty area. Nobody is attacking the ball or getting anything on it. It falls loosely to Song, and he puts it in the back of the net. It's just ridiculous. What's
going on, Yamis?
This is not a good one. Niamis, are you watching the game, Niamis?
Yeah. I watched the first half. I had a meeting and I watched the first half, and I've just rewinded to see like the 3rd goal. It's ridiculous.
So we've got some big talking points on the 2 yellow cards, the penalty, and should Arteta have taken off Holding. So those are the big 4 talking points. If you want to give your opinion, everybody's talked about it. Tony, Vincey, myself.
Yeah. The thing is, if he had taken off Holding, there have been many situations where centre backs get yellow cards and they're able to hold themselves for the whole game and not get a second yellow. So if he had taken him off like that early, I would have been shocked. But it would have been different from a lot of managers because most managers wouldn't have done that. I think the first yellow that he got was a bit soft. Definitely the second foul was deserving of a yellow. Cedric, I don't think that was a penalty. But now we're talking 3 goals down. We could come up with all these different situations, but Arsenal haven't been quite at the races, and us being down one man like makes the situation like even worse. I don't necessarily blame Arteta for not taking off Holding. Like, yeah, you could say in hindsight he should have done that, but it is what it is. But I think now it's about like, how is it that you're going to set up the team? Like at the end of the first half, I heard from the commentator he went to like a 3-5-1, obviously 3-5-2, but Holding's off. I'd have probably gone with 5-3-2, and I hear you guys talking about Tavares, but he'd have been someone I would have brought on to play at the wings back, but playing more defensive, with Saka playing at right wing back and taking off probably Odegaard and having Nketiah play in like a various different position, because we need a goal. But I think now with 3 goals down, now it's about damage limitation. Because I think for us to get 3 goals now would be borderline a miracle, and I don't know what strategy. I don't think that we have the players on the bench to be able to come back and.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I said to Vinci. We don't have a lot of options. The options that we see there, to me, our fans are looking at them saying they're options. They're not options. We don't have the squad. They might look like they're options, but they're not really options. And I think the manager he doesn't want to do that. He doesn't trust it. You don't have a lot of options. But then this comes back to Edu should have brought some players in January. It all spends back to that. That then if you don't have the options there, then you should have bloody well put some options in there to make sure that in these situations we don't get hung out to dry. Now look, the Ben White hamstring thing, nobody could account for that. And Holding's always been that man in there. Go on! Oh my God!
Yeah,
Saka nearly scored it. Just ping balls in the box. It's not our day, guys. It's just not our day.
You know, it's a tough pill to swallow, I think, for a lot of Arsenal fans, because I think a lot of Arsenal fans were expecting to win this. I thought it would have been a draw, pretty even stalemate. But you know, if we want Champions League football, it's just like we just have to go out and execute the rest of the games this season. And I mean, for me, this one is a loss, and unfortunately, it's against our rivals. And yeah, there's almost nothing more that we can do right now. I guess.
You know what, Neomis? I'm not upset because of. I didn't expect Arsenal to win this game.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I didn't expect them to win this game, but as you can clearly see, yeah. And this is what I'm talking about, options. We're now seeing the second half. Look where Tomiyasu is now playing. He's playing centre-back, right?
Yeah.
All right. This is the point I'm trying to say. You have to manage the situation. You have to manage the game in the best way based on what happens. And we have to do damage limitation. So when I'm hearing people saying, you know what, these options can't happen. Look what's happened.
Well, attacking options, like for me, I would have bring on Tavares and taken off probably Odegaard, because it's either Odegaard or Nketiah. But for me, we need this is when it was at 2-0.
Yeah,
he's got Xhaka at left back.
See, I'm not into Xhaka at left back. I prefer Tavares all day long. That decision, I'm not. Yeah. I'm not into Xhaka at left back in any situation. Like for me, that's never going to help.
Bertrand says our only threat is Martinelli. Has Martinelli had a shot on goal today?
Yeah, but he's the only one that's balling out. Let's be honest.
Yeah. He's playing. He's probably our best player, if I'm honest. But I don't think he's had a chance. I know. Odegaard scuffed the ball and missed the shot. Eddie's pulled off a worldy save from Lloris. I mean, Odegaard's got to do better with that shot. Odegaard had a shot like that in the last game, which he fluffed against Leeds, in the same spot as well. He's got to get his shooting boots on. You can see, look, Martinelli's just back defending. Spurs are pressing us now with the quickness, man. We got to get a hold of the ball, though. And the ball comes into the middle to Odegaard. We've had chances to score. We just haven't been able to do anything. That last one, which was Saka, You know, the funny thing is, before this game, and I talked about it in the preview, I said we're going to need some goals. We're going to need some assistance from Martinelli, Saka. You know, those guys, that goals that are drying up, they got to get on the score sheet. Today, Saka's missed chances. Martinelli's played well, but again, he played well in the last game as well. But we need you scoring goals. We need you scoring goals.
He would have to take on 4 men and put the ball in the back of the net to score a goal from where he's playing.
Yeah.
What you're missing is the focal striker. Eddie is working hard, but the ball can't get to him when he's got all those players around him.
Plus, he's having to drop deep to pick up the midfield, especially because, yeah.
So there's no central striker.
Oh man, 3-0 down. This is not what. Yes. This is, you know what's frustrating about this? This is everything that Andy's been talking about all week. Andy's going, we're going to thump you. We're going to thump you. It's not the scoreline. It's the nature of it. It's the nature of the referee's decision and the soft penalty and the soft red card. That's what's frustrating me. That's what's making me, yeah? That's what's blowing me up. It's the nature of it all. That in the first 20 minutes, we were the better team. Before the penalty, we were the ones that were taking the game by the scruff of the neck. Ian says, hi, I'm a Darlington FC fan. We were made bankrupt in 2011, reformed in 2012, demoted 4 leagues. We are currently a fan-owned National League North club, and we have 3 promotions to date.
Nice.
Well done, bro.
Nice one, mate. Well done.
Nice
well
one,
done.
Ian. Big shout out to you guys, man. And wishing you all the best for the coming season as well. Yeah, it's just, I mean, the camera is on Ben White right now.
He's clearly not ready.
He isn't, and that's what I'm saying. You can't. He's only named on the bench, just like Swanson, the kids, the academy players, because you ain't got a squad. Because he's on the bench doesn't mean he's gonna play. And to be 80% fit with a hamstring injury is not good. If it's anything else, maybe a groin, maybe something else, he might get away with it. But a hamstring, Eddie has another shot on target saved. And the support is just isn't there as well. Freddie says, it is what it is. It is. I agree with you, mate. It is. Ian said, thanks, I've subscribed. I appreciate that, mate. I appreciate that. We got some drippy pan there in the chat. He says, put that out to your pain Monday night. Yeah, I mean, I'd love for them to put me out of my misery, but we got another half an hour to go at the stream. Look at Neomis's face. Very rarely do we get blessed by our brother from another mother. Ashley is not my brother. He's old enough to be my son. My son's 35 years old this year. Vincey knows my son pretty well, actually. My son's 35 this year, so I look at Neomis like he's my son. My wife always says that to me. She goes, Neomis is like your son, isn't he? And I'm like, yeah, he is.
Oh, thank you very much.
I just want to congratulate. It's Neomis's birthday, guys. So happy birthday to Neomis.
Thank you.
Big shout out to my brother.
How was it yesterday, man?
Honestly, I had classes and then I had to finish off an assignment that I only completed at about 7 a.m. your time, 11 p.m. my time, and then I just went to bed. But today, after this, I'll be going to watch the new Doctor Strange film. Get me some nice lunch, and then that's about it. So it's about 1 in the afternoon now. So I've virtually got most of the day left.
Cool. Did you have this? Did you have this game down as a victory?
No, I had it as a draw. I had it as 2-2, and I think that maybe that could have been the case if we had all 11 players there. But as soon as we went down, I don't see any situation
with 10 players. You can't play. What a save!
If it was 0-0 with 10 players, maybe. But we were already 1-0 down. like with 10
Well,
players.
you saw what happened against Man City when we had the red card there. It was just lambs to the slaughters, and that ended up 5-something.
We can't make this 5. Oh my god! What a save!
Yeah, so it is a great save. Nay says, "Happy birthday, Niamis. Sorry about the game. Would have been great pressing 3 points." Let's go back to Bertram. God, all these names. Sorry, guys. Bertram says, Niamis cannot believe you picked today. No, it was yesterday. Yesterday. And Bertram says, curious to see what Arteta says about Holding. He and his assistant called out Pepe in the last game.
There's no need to talk about it. There really isn't.
Kuke says,
explain it. There's really no need.
Yeah, I thought the referee. I just thought the ref done one. Yeah.
Yeah. He's now got a what is it? A 1-game ban. So you move on. You move on. There's no point crying over spilt milk. It is what it is. You know, we as fans, we're disappointed. But you know what? We're still above Spurs, and we got 2 more games in which to define our season.
Yeah,
2
that's
games.
Right. Yeah.
It's
against teams that are in the bottom half of the table. Well, Newcastle. We're in Newcastle now, actually.
Like 15th.
11th.
Oh, they're 11th.
Everybody's coming out with different. They're 14th.
Okay.
Yeah, so we got teams against the 2 teams bottom half of the table. Kuke says Bertram the same thing he says about Xhaka when he messes up. Nothing. Sporty Jordan says happy birthday, Niamis. Drippy Pandas. I'm enjoying this Drippy Panda dude, man. It says just us banter breeding N17 Bam and Bun and Bread. It's a long time, dude. Nice one, man. Nice one. Bertrand says Tony, as in James Tony or Ivan Tony. He says you're missing my point. I think Tony's basically just saying let's move on, Bertrand, because otherwise we'll be on it all night.
There's no point crying over spilt milk and saying, "Oh, but you wouldn't do this to Xhaka and blah blah blah." Let it be, man.
Everyone's gonna have their opinion, Tony, and that's where it is, mate.
The poor kid, Rob Holding, has hardly played any football this season. Yeah, he's had to come in and do a job after weeks and months and months and months and not even seeing the pitch. Yeah, come in, do a job, and he's performed admirably. Let's be honest. Rob Holding has saved our asses enough times this season when we've had to solidify. And he's cleared, you know, when he was clearing balls that you were like, raw.
Yeah, well, he won us the game against West Ham, didn't he?
Thank you. Yeah. So when he's had a bad half. I personally don't believe he should be off the pitch right now. Yeah. But you know, Tom wants to say, yeah, it's a definite foul with the elbow. Fine, do that. You believe that, c'est la vie. I'm not going to criticize him and say he's now turning into a woeful defender. No, he's still a good defender. You know, he's still an integral part to this team because even with William Saliba back next year, we still need Rob Holding.
Yeah.
Because you can't operate with 3 centre halves. Okay, you might say, well, Tomiyasu can do a job there. Fine, if you want to go down that. C'est la vie. But I'm not going to criticize the guy. I'm going to say, listen, happens. You know, how many players have got a red card under Wenger, under whoever? And you go, well, it is what it is. You know, one of the greatest players we ever had, Patrick Vieira. How many red cards did he get? You know? And I never once criticized Pat. And I never once turned around and said, oh, he's an X type of player. What was he thinking? We got away with that one.
I think what Bertrand was referring to was, I think, an assistant making comments in the previous game about Pepe. I think he's commented, and he's reason why he was saying that is he's just talking, I think, in reference to fairness. It wasn't specifically about Holding, but I haven't seen the last game, so I don't know what actually happened with Pepe and the assistant.
So now we've got Martinelli being replaced by Emil
Smith-Rowe. Yeah, Smith-Rowe. Bertram says you have an insignificant assistant chastising Pepe for a decision, and that doesn't happen to others.
Yeah, I mean that. Listen,
That says it all.
Pepe
Wow.
thing, you know how infuriated I am. Yeah?
What happened? 'Cause I didn't.
Sorry.
What happened? I don't know what
totally
happened.
Peed off. Well, there was an opportunity on the game against Leeds where the goalkeeper came up in the last 5 minutes to try and get equaliser. The ball broke from the corner and landed at Pepe's feet. And he had an opportunity to swing his right foot at
He
the
doesn't
ball,
do it.
and he doesn't do, he cuts back
Yeah.
in an effort to go onto his left foot, because he would have had to shoot from the halfway line, but he would have had to do it with his right foot.
Didn't it look like he was heading to the corner? I thought like he was heading to the corner flag. It looked like he was in two minds, like he was going to try and run the clock out or something rather than score.
It's an open goal.
Yeah.
Their
what happened?
goalkeeper is in our penalty area. So all he has to do is put the ball on target. But instead of swinging the right foot, he tries to nutmeg the player so he gets it onto his left leg.
Then gets tackled.
That, the player tackles him and we lose the opportunity. At the end of the game, the assistant to Arteta comes out and bollocks Pepe for not having taken a shot at the goal.
Albert headphones.
And all I'm going to say is, look, the Pepe experiment is done.
Yeah, that's what I said. That's what I'm as an
finished
Emirates.
out here.
Yeah.
You know, I've championed this guy for years. You know.
Yeah, I know.
Presence blood has been my motto for 3 years with this
And
kid.
I've called him the most talented player on the team.
And I'm convinced now, I didn't believe Apollo, but now I believe Apollo. Pepe's time is done. He is absolutely dog washing this team now.
Yeah, he is. And
he
Tony
can't get minutes. And then he gets literally the worst bit of time to come on. And you say, oh yeah, go on, Pepe, do something. Like, really?
Did you see my vlog in the Leeds game? Did you see my video? Yeah. I said that when we was at halftime and I was calling for him to come on, at the end of the game, I said Pepe just looked disinterested. And I thought to myself, Pepe looked like when Arteta called his number to get to go on the field, Pepe should have just said, nah, I'm good. That's what he should have said, because that's essentially what his body language and everything was. And when you think that all season long, this guy's been outcasted and thrown to the side and not even used as a first option substitute. Sometimes it has been, but more often than not, 90% of the time, Nketiah gets the nod instead of Pepe. So what do you think that does to a player's mindset?
So
he just looked disinterested. Sorry, go on, Vincey.
So can I ask, did the assistant need to make a comment about Pepe in that situation?
No, he didn't.
That's all I'm, because I think we won the game. So I'm just wondering, to highlight a player in that situation.
They want him gone. They want him gone. They're bullying him his way out. Be like, get out.
But I must say, I'm just sort of again trying to put a little bit of balance on it. If you guys are at the Emirates, you'll see Arteta screaming at everybody. Arteta is red at the moment. He's screaming red. He's desperate. He wants this top four so badly. He's been screaming at his players. I've seen him get into El Nene. I've seen him scream at Odegaard. I've seen him scream at Smith Rowe. I've seen him just screaming at his players, just positioning. Every little mistake that they make, he's picking up on it. And I don't think that's a good thing, because that can really shock your confidence as a player. But that's just where we're at the moment now. He expects 110% in every single game. He wants to leave nothing on the field. And that's just his passion at the moment. But in instances with Pepe, I think the fans are looking at it and they're calling it out, because it was what it was.
All I can say is Arteta is culpable for the worst case of man management with a player that I've ever seen. I mean, I can't think of another player who's been as badly treated as Pepe in any club, in any place.
Mesut Ozil. No,
how can you say that? Mesut Ozil played bare football for Arsenal. Are you
really?
Yeah. What, his whole Arsenal career?
Forget the Arsenal career. I'm talking about after the China statement. How many games did he play for Arsenal after that?
Do you think did Dennis Suarez, the Spanish guy who
No, but he was injured.
Hey, Vincey, he didn't even do anything wrong.
and he didn't do anything wrong.
We didn't buy him. We didn't
No, but he
buy
didn't
him.
He injured
We
though.
spend
Like,
he didn't do
72
anything
million
wrong.
on Dennis Suarez.
But he didn't do anything wrong.
Yeah, he didn't even do anything wrong. Oh my word. At least you could say Kim Kallstrand had a back problem.
Yeah.
At least you could say Ozil
Yeah,
made
trophy.
those comments about, in regards to Muslim and China. Yeah, I get it. Even FIFA took him out of the game. That's a big thing when FIFA takes you out of your game. When Electronic Arts says, "Nah, we're scrubbing you," you messed up. But my guy, Dennis Suarez, he didn't do a damn thing.
Wow. I feel for Pepe because
come on, Nketiah.
and I think what fans find the pain with Pepe is that he can contribute, he can score goals, he can assist, and that's an area where it can actually change up, be a player who can come off the bench, and that's just not an option. So yeah, I can understand their frustrations.
I mean, I love watching Liverpool. Yeah, I'm not a Liverpool fan, but I admire the way that Liverpool and Man City rotate their players so as not to run players out of energy, so as to keep their players fresh, so as to maintain, competition for places, but you look at Arsenal, man, my guy plays 12 players every game, 12 players. And his favourites are so favourite that they have to play every game for every minute of every game. Like right now, you're 3-0 down. Ask yourself this question. You've got 10 men on the pitch, right? You're 3-0 down. What do you do? Boys, tell me what you're going to do next.
Listen,
Well, who's on the subs bench? Could you bring up the players on the bench, please?
It don't matter who's on the subs bench, Tone. What do you do now, Tone? Tell me, what do you do? Tone, you got a game on Monday. Yeah? What do you do, Tone? You're 3-0 down with 10 men.
Well,
you've going to win this game.
No, but you've got a player who you can bring on and rest a player who deserves to be rested because he's played a lot of games
now you're
and
a manager, Tone. Well
and he's got a lot of injuries. But as I said, it goes back
turned into a personal manager capable of understanding that now you can make a choice now. The game is done. Yeah? We're at 71 minutes. Yeah? 30 minutes. I could play some players and say, go on.
Because you need a victory.
So in speaking in that terms, Vincey and Tony, Nketiah is being rested for Newcastle. So Lacazette is coming on. So they're resting Eddie.
Yeah, and that's good that Nketiah is coming off, but there's a player who's
so
you know what I'm saying, Tone.
So this is the comment of the night, guys, because when I was talking about this last week, this is what I said had to happen today. Nketiah scored 4 goals in his last 4 games. Saka, I said we need something more from Martinelli. We need something. Our bread and butter this season has been our wide players. They have carried us. And the most important aspect of where I was coming from with this is, since we lost those 3 games against Palace, Brighton, and Southampton, these guys have been nowhere. When you look at the game that, Chelsea, Eddie scored 2 goals there. When you look at the Man United game, what happened in that game, when you look at the West Ham game where Gabriel and Holding scored, we're not getting nothing. So I came into this game. So thank you, Bertrand, for this comment. I came into this game and I said, if Saka and Martinelli don't give us anything in this game, we ain't getting nowhere.
Bro, Pepe is mud in this game.
Yeah. He's done.
My guy,
Leeds, I said it's over.
And if Martinelli, let me tell you what's gonna happen. Yeah, do you remember what happened on the weekend with Leeds? You're gonna get to 5 minutes, and then you're gonna see Pepe. Go on, Pepe, have 5 minutes.
Yeah, and
if I was Pepe, what would you do?
I'd suck my teeth. I'd suck my teeth. Grab somebody's mobile phone and just get onto YouTube and watch 101 on Arsenal, man.
No,
That's what I would do.
Tavares is coming on. Tavares is coming on now.
Wow.
Pepe's not.
Wow.
Well, I hope Gabriel's not hurt. Gabriel's down.
He's done, man. Like he's having to manage a defense himself, running around like an animal all day.
So okay. So for all of you lot who don't watch American sports, let's have a little bit of fun. So when you're getting blown out, and you know you ain't gonna win the game, they call that garbage time. So that's where you take the whole damn team off to rest your starters. And you know what I'm referring to, Tony. That's why he's laughing.
Yeah.
Last night, Golden State Warriors played Memphis Grizzlies. Holy shit. Naomi, are you picking up the NBA? Where you are?
I haven't been watching it, but I do have all the watch all the NBA games.
So I saw something I never done see in my whole damn life. I'm 54 years old and I never see this thing ever in my life. 120 to 60. A 60-point lead. A 60-point lead in the playoffs.
In the playoffs.
That's disgraceful. See, for that reason alone, that's why the NBA should go to a model like how the Premier League is, and you only focus on the best teams. That is ridiculous.
No, because you know what's going to happen tomorrow night. The Golden State Warriors will eliminate the Memphis Grizzlies. That was a one-off game, bro.
Hey, and you want to hear the joke about it? You want to, Neomis, listen to this. It gets more funnier, Neomis. Listen, I ain't done yet. Listen. Hey, Vincey, this one's for you. Listen. Their best player, John Morant, wasn't even playing.
Yeah, the Warriors are sick.
He was in his street clothes cheering them on. He wasn't even playing.
Wow.
Oh my word! Oh, I tell you,
guys, this isn't looking good right now. I hope that injury to Gabriel is not serious because
he's gone off with a hamstring, a potential hamstring.
Mate, hopefully it's not like Vincey said, it's nothing serious, but it just means that Arteta might have to delve into the academy.
Yeah,
he'll probably put Tomiyasu there and have Ben White on the other side.
Yeah, because Ben White's you can't put 100%. Like we can't.
Well, he's not now, but he probably will be. He probably will
Monday.
Be by
Monday.
Oh, okay.
He probably will be by Monday because they said he's 80%, isn't it?
He probably play 3 at the back, to be honest, and he can get away with that. With Newcastle.
You know why, Vincey? Because when Tavares plays in the midfield 4, he's not such of a liability. Sorry, go on.
Yeah, but what's happened from the first half, from about 20 minutes in, we lost. This is another game where we've lost the midfield. We've lost in that first half. We actually lost possession and control of the midfield, and that's something where against Newcastle he can't allow that to happen because we need to get a foothold in the game to give our wingers and attackers a good chance.
Bertrand said they play better without Morant. You know what? You're the second person that said that to me today.
I think early on in the season, Morant was
they went on a run where they I think it was 20-2, and the 2 games they lost were with Morant.
Morant is the best player in the NBA driving to the basket. I never seen anybody drive to the basket the way he does. You guys know me, Donovan Mitchell, big fan. But this guy's unstoppable. It don't matter who you are.
I think you're getting carried away with the highlight reels, bro.
No. I watch all of these games. I watch all of their games.
I watch all their games. But he ain't that good.
Yeah, I don't think there's anyone better driving to the basket.
There's loads of guys as good as him driving to the basketball. There's loads.
No, I mean now. Not in history, I mean now. There's no one better than him driving it to the basket. He is sick. Terry's saying foothold with with what? Xhaka, are you mad, fam? Yeah. Yeah. I leave that one to you lot. It's getting to that time of the year now where I'm praying and hoping that summer transfers is going to give me something nice.
We got to be more clinical. Nice little chance created there.
Sporty, Odegaard's been doing that for the last few games. He's just been missing. He hasn't been sharp in front of goal at all. And this is why I said Saka, Martinelli, and Odegaard. We need one of them to hit the back of the net, because you're solemnly dependent on other factors, whereas those were the factors that got you into this position. Bertrand saying he doesn't play defense and dominates the ball. But then nor does Kyrie Irving.
Can we give the flowers and respect to Tavares? That cross was superb.
Yeah, it was, yeah.
And the run to get into that position was superb.
Yeah, you know what you can see is this guy has got more offensive prowess in his game than Kieran Tierney, and you got to love that. But he's so raw, and we didn't see that. Remember, he had that stretch of 6 or 7 games where he really put in some solid displays, and he was thinking, Kieran Tierney's back fit now, and Tierney can't get back into the team. Tavares looked really good there, but when we bought him, you heard all the scouts say this guy is great talent, but mega raw. He's really raw. He's got a mistake in him. We didn't see that over that stretch of games, but now you're seeing it. So it's,
I see the cross. I'm behind you guys. So it's a good cross by Tavares.
Lacazette nearly gave away a penalty there. Oh, let's just get through it, man. There's 10 minutes left. This is like death by torture at the moment. Yeah, and I think the frustrating thing about us is, if you have a Man City or a Liverpool that's down to 10 men and they get in front of goal, they're clinical. You've seen instances here where we've had Odegaard, Saka, we've had plenty of chances in front of goal, and we're just not even doing anything. We could have been back in this game. We could have scored 2 goals and be pressing for an equaliser with 10 minutes to go. That's why I'm frustrated, Neomis.
The thing is, Apollo, like Odegaard for me just isn't a clinical goal scorer. Good at creating chances, but Smith Rowe, like you realize Smith Rowe is on the top scorer list, and he can't even start a game. 10 goals, 5 assists, I think it is.
Yeah, but a lot of that is due to, first of all, his injuries, and then his poor. He's in a run of bad form at the moment.
Yeah.
He should be playing though, especially when Martinelli and Saka haven't been performing. Like at the very least, be on the pitch like at the same time. Yeah. It doesn't have to be an either or anymore between him and Odegaard.
It's like 90% of Smith Rowe's goals came from before Christmas, and he's only scored 1 goal this year. Vincey?
Can I ask, what's the situation with Everton right now? Because I think that's going to be a very pivotal game.
Everton are in the clear. They're 2 points in the clear and a game in hand.
Yeah, they probably need another point at minimum, and then they should be fine by the time we face us. But
okay, so
we Spurs have Burnley next, and they're in problems, and that's the game I think that they're gonna drop points in.
Okay. Yeah, well, Everton are at home. Everton's next 2 home games before Arsenal are Brentford and Crystal Palace. They'll get a point in one of those games,
and that's all they need.
Yeah, and then they'll be safe.
Okay. So it's not all doom and gloom. Yes, it's a North London derby. We lost it. It's not great to see them score 3 against us, but we're still in a good position for top 4. Looking at the remaining fixtures, we just got to don't leave it down to Everton. Just have a good result against Newcastle, and we can still.
The Burnley game for Tottenham is a big game.
That's the game they're going to drop points in. They're going to get a draw. They're going to drop.
It is at Tottenham though, so you kind of figured that Tottenham will get a result.
No, they'll get a point, but Burnley ain't going down.
Yeah. Well, no, Leeds are going down, mate. For me, Leeds are gone, and that's really sad for me to say that, because I got a lot of friends who are Leeds supporters. But Leeds are gone. It's going to be Leeds, Watford, and Norwich. It is where it is now. Nothing will change.
Do you know what the scary thing about this is? Spurs. Right now, the way our Spurs are playing, they're a threat.
They are, but if we win our last 2 games, it's in our hands. I think at this point, all you can ask for is that it's in your hands. I said this to the guys on Friday that if we came into this situation being the team that needed to pull points back, like Spurs, today Spurs were 4 points behind before today with 3 games to go. Well, with 3 games to go. Now they've won today, and it means nothing for them. As if we keep on winning, don't matter what Spurs do. So I'd rather be in our position. If we were in Spurs' position, I'd be very concerned.
Do you know what? My concern is, even though we got the points, our players are falling by the wayside, and that's a concern because our squad is small. So yes, we've got.
And guess who's still on the pitch in the 85th minute without so much as a sniff has been sent, like getting a rest?
Wow.
Oh, it's Bukayo Saka still.
And that's the concern, because whilst we say we need to win our next 2 games, if we don't have the players and important players to start in that game, it's going to be tight.
We haven't had any goals from them in so long. I think they're shot. I was saying it weeks ago. I said these guys, when we lost those 3 games and everyone was losing their heads, I was sitting here with you lot and I was saying to you, these guys are mentally shot. They're physically shot. They're mentally shot, because there's been 0 rotation in the team since the new year. There's been no rotation. It doesn't matter whether we're in Europe, we're not in Europe, or not in the cups or whatever. These guys have not had a break, and we're not getting a performance. Look, the camera's on Smith Rowe right now. He's just been booked. When's the last time that he played well?
How many subs are we allowed?
Smith Rowe's on the pitch.
Yeah, he's on the pitch. Yeah. So, Sporty Jordan says Apollo agreed the midfield goals have dried up, which is never a good thing with no striker. Yeah, I agree. We do have a question here. I got to go by to. Rich Post Sports says, question, guys, are Arsenal a top 4 Champions League squad? But that's a definite no. Or a hope. Wing a prayer Champions League squad. Your NBA convo speaks volumes. Arsenal are not a Champions League squad, but that's okay. That's fine. They have a list of players. They have a list of players that they'll be going through into the summer to ensure that the squad is going to be doing what it needs to do. People, we have to sometimes take 1 step backwards to take 2 steps forwards. They've been building this team for just 2 years.
Guys, can I?
So it's going to take time. It's going to take time.
I want to take this discussion somewhere else right now. What happens when Arsenal qualify for the Europa League? Because that's the worst we can do.
What do you mean? What happens? I don't understand the question.
Okay,
it's a good question.
I mean, we're not going to get the signings that like the Champions League signings.
Yeah,
that's not going to happen.
It's a good question.
Yeah. But that was our target initially, Tony, from the get-go.
So if we qualify for the Europa League, yeah. Let's just say we screw up against Newcastle, Tottenham beat Burnley, and that's it. What do we get in the summer? We're losing Nketiah because he's away on a free. We lose Lacazette, he's away on a free.
Yeah, I don't think you'll get Raheem Sterling.
A new contract. I believe they're talking with Elneny about a new contract.
They are, and from what I'm aware, tomorrow morning is where, everything is going to should be settled. They've had preliminary talks, but the agents there at London Coney tomorrow.
For Elneny?
Yeah, no, not for Elneny, for Nketiah. Elneny, I don't know anything about that situation.
So
but I think Elneny's already.
When you say contract with Nketiah, who's he's not signing with Arsenal, is he?
No, it's just his agent. Like the formal talks with his agent tomorrow, and the agent really wants to know what's your plans for my client. Is he going to be a part of the rotation, or is he just going to spend another year on the bench? Because if it's the latter, then we're off. It's going to be one of those. But I don't know anything about Elneny. However, Elneny has already said that he's happy to stay here and he loves the club. So I don't think that's going to be a
so
problem.
let's talk about what we get, what we should be expecting from a Europa League team, bearing in mind that West Ham got to the semi-final this year, bearing in mind that are Rangers in the final? Who's in the final?
Yes, yeah, they are, yeah.
Rangers are in the final?
Well, I don't think you're going to, from my sources, from what I know at London Coney, they've said to me that Gabriel Jesus won't sign for Arsenal if we're not in the Champions League.
That was what I was thinking.
Yeah,
because
that's what I've heard.
That guy goes. And that means you have a problem because who are you going to sign? Because all your Darwin Núñez's and all your Lautaro Martinez's,
it's not going to happen. Yeah, it's not going to happen.
They don't want to come to Europa League.
Yeah, that's right.
I think we are in. I think we have a problem. I think we've had a problem all season. It's nice for us to be in Europe. It's a huge achievement for the club, huge achievement for Arteta. But if we're not in the Champions League, I think it's going to be a huge challenge. As much as this season's been a laborious one on the toll it's taken on the squad, I think next season's going to be even harder. I think it's going to be even harder. I said it at the start of this season. I know fans want European football, but coupled with the way how Arteta's managing the team, our tactics, and our young players, if we don't get Champions League, wow, it's going to be another season like this season.
And to the best of my knowledge, Apollo, you can probably give me a little bit more info, but I'm 100% of the belief that we won't see Pepe at Arsenal next season.
Yeah, no, he's gone. He's gone.
He's going to be loaned out, similar to Aubameyang if they can't sell him.
Well, his wages aren't that bad. He's only on 140 grand a week. It's not that bad. It's not that bad. It's not like you're trying to get rid of somebody who's on 250, 300k. It's not that bad. It's manageable in the mix of things. I mean, if you look at somebody like Declan Rice, he refused to sign a contract today, which would have paid him 200 grand a week. So when we're talking about all this money and everything, 140k is not that big. It's
Tony,
very manageable.
I think the question that fans probably don't want to consider is, if we don't make Champions League football, is Saliba definitely going to want to?
He's going to leave.
I personally...
And listen, Arsenal should sell him either way, because unless they tell him, and like, mate, you're going to be starting. How can a guy who starts every single week for Marseille be content with playing behind Ben White? Because Ben White is not going to drop to the bench because of Saliba.
And let's not forget, guys, this is a World Cup year. The World Cup is in December,
and he will likely go to the World Cup.
He wants to go. Anybody who wants to go World Cup right now needs to be playing first team football.
Right.
Well, they're third in La Liga, so he's going to Champions League. They're second.
Yeah,
I thought they were.
They might have dropped one place.
I think they're third last time I looked. It's Paris Saint-Germain, Olympiacos. Not Olympiacos.
Olympic Lyonnais.
Olympic Lyonnais.
I think it's huge for
Monaco.
I think it's huge for the club, but on the pitch, I can see a lot of I have a lot of concern.
No, Arteta is only going to make this more difficult. He can make it easier by just rotating the squad a lot more. If he does that, keeps the balance right, then it's fine.
Yeah.
You know,
Neomis, I'm going to say the same thing I said to Vincey to you. He doesn't trust some of those players.
And that's going to be his downfall.
Yeah, but
because you look at Pep and you look at Klopp, they rotate their players, they keep their players warm, they don't let nobody get upset because you ain't playing me, boss. Everybody gets minutes.
Yeah, he didn't trust Eddie and he didn't trust El Nene, and he trusts them now.
Back to bite him on the arse.
But Apollo, that's the problem. It only when push comes to shove, and he had to rely on them. It's great the guys like Eddie and El Nene stood up, but why not believe in them 10, 15 games ago when things were doing relatively okay. That's what the problems is.
I think it's a little. A lot of fans have put this fair criticism to Arteta, and I agree with it. I think he's and it's not just for Arteta. A lot of managers are like this, where you're sold on your core players, and that's where you want to go into battle with. And I say this about Klopp with Origi. I love Origi as a player, but he won't play the guy. And a lot of managers are like that, regardless which club you goes to. Spurs, I like Skip. Skip, I think, is their best young talent. They won't play him. It's only when they're forced to. They put Sanchez on. I know Skip's coming back from an injury now and everything, but they've underplayed him as well. So it's not just Arteta. Managers are innately play their favourites. They do. They just do. For us, it's even worse. The impact is worse because our squad is so thin. So when you get into a situation like this year, 2022, where you don't rotate, all you're doing is you're just physically and mentally burning out your players. And right now, Saka, Smith-Rowe, Martinelli, although Martinelli's got these godly superhuman energies, he might be full of running and everything, but he doesn't really have the end product that he doesn't even look like scoring as much as he used to. Smith-Rowe has come on today. I know he's been off the bench and everything, but he doesn't look as dynamic. Ever since he had COVID, he's never had, and I know he had it bad with the breathing problems and everything. He's never looked the same player. Saka, I think, is just overused, and he looks gassed. He needs a break. Yeah. But and that was the reason why you're in this position. That's why you're in fourth. You're in fourth in the table because of those core players. And right now, leading to the 12th round, those players are shot. They're exhausted.
Well, I'll say next season, it can't always be this way. And there are players to come back. I don't know if they will. I don't know if you've been keeping track of the likes of Reece Nelson at Feyenoord. He's in the finals for the conference. He's been playing really well. He's got 1 year left on his deal. He can quite easily be a squad player. Is he going to get an opportunity? And I mean, if it's just more I see Bertram talking about Arteta as a dictator. If it's going to be all hail Arteta and he has to go and basically bring in 10 players to be and half of them to be maybe squad players. Is that really feasible? I mean, I know they brought in 6 in the summer or something like that, but it's that's what we're looking at. I don't know. I really don't know.
It's going to be a very difficult summer because, as I said to those guys, we have 18 players, and 3 of those 18 players' contracts run out. So we've got 15 players, and 4 of them are academy players, which you see on the bench in every game that are never used.
Yes, which I personally have a problem with.
So initially, we are kicking off with 13. I know I'm doing a numbers game, but we're looking at we walk into next season with 13 players. If we're able to re-sign El Nene, which I think we will, we'll have 14. I don't know about Nketiah. I don't know how that's going to work out. But 14 players, and you're due to have a roster of 25. So that means that we're 11 players down. So even if you take the players, let's see if I can find their name again. So even if you take the players we could do.
Tony, you're ridiculous. Why'd you change your shirt so quick? The game just ended. Calm down, man. Still, it's going to be.
So let's play the numbers game. So we're at 14 players for next season. So even if you take Swanson, Patino, Hutchinson, Miguel Aziz, Mark McGuinness, which I like. I like me some Mark McGuinness. We could have done with him today as centre back.
Very good centre back.
I think he's a very good centre back, and he should be in the first team on the bench right now. So why he's not there, I don't know. That's an answer only Per Mertesacker can answer. The question
Reece Nelson.
Yes.
Yeah, Reece Nelson. So that's 6 players on top of your 14. So you've got now 20 players, which means that the help from your academy is there. You then have to go out and buy 5 players in the transfer market. Then you've got your squad of 25. And that's how you're going to build it. That's how it's going to work.
Listen, the problem is with that, and I have no problem with the academy. The problem is that Arteta, he's not an Emery and he's not a Wenger. He won't just throw players in the deep end and hope for the best. And you
do have 2 intangibles. You've got John Jules, who's not ready, and you've got Balogun, who's not ready. So you do have a level of intangibles there, but only time will tell.
Still not enough.
I know it isn't, but those are just 2 added players, which they're going to have to make a decision on them, Tony. Both strikers, both not ready, both won't play.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you might as well just leave them and let them go out on loan again, because Reece Nelson's a different story. He's been ready. He was ready before he left. He only left because Willian was here, Pepe, Saka. He had 3 guys in front of him playing on the right. There's no way Reece Nelson could have played. So that's why he was just like, okay, just put me on loan. Let me play. So if Pepe's gone, he comes in, he can be a rotational player. I like Reece Nelson, always have done. I think he brings you a lot. But
guess who's playing in the European final next week? Reece Nelson.
Yeah. Give me a second, guys. I'm just finishing off my player ratings here. They're not going to be pretty.
I mean, the thing is, if you look at any good team, you got to have 2 players in every position. Yeah? So we've only got 1 goalkeeper because Leno's going to be gone in the summer, right?
Yeah.
Oh, but that American guy's coming. I think that's already confirmed.
Yeah, Tony, do you think ideally we should have 2 players, but I just don't think the club are at that stage.
What you have to look at, Tom, is the second player good enough? Because is Tavares good enough to back up Tierney? Is Cedric good enough to back up Tomiyasu?
And that's the problem, because we're talking about players who the manager's gone out and purchased to the system that he wants to play, and they need to have time to bed in. And this is what I'm saying. I think as a club, we're at a very... I still think we're 2 years behind. And that's 2 years behind because we failed to plan and have the right mindset 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And on the pitch, I'm still not seeing that mindset and development to allow the guys to have a system moving forward that is flexible. So to have Europe in the equation, it's great because it allows us to attract players, but it complicates the situation.
Yeah.
And it's going to get further complicated if we go into the Europa League.
I mean, the thing you say about being 2 years behind, that's even made worse when you look at the players who have left the club for 0 money.
And still to leave this, and still to leave this season.
And getting 0 money. Because that should never happen. We made a commitment. The club told the fans, we will not allow players to run their contract down to the last year.
I'm not going to get into that with you already again, Tony. We had this conversation already.
They left that with the old regime.
Yeah, I think the club had done the right thing to get rid of all the dead wood and save 36 million. But on the flip side of that, I think they were also naive to think that 18 players was going to get them through to the end of the season. So there's an argument both ways. But at the end of the day, you live and die by your decisions, right? If we make top 4, then all that counts for nothing. If we get into the Europa League, which was their initial target, which none of us sitting here thought that we were going to do. Bertram thought we were going to do it. He said we're going to finish 6th. Tom said we were going to finish 4th. Nobody else gave us a chance. So I think overall, when you look at that, you can say, well done. Cecilia said, still proud of my team. We all are, darling. We love our team. And, look, and I just feel really bad for them right now. I really do feel bad for this was a game that they knew if they could win would be the answer to their dreams. Now they got to do it the hard way. And would it be Arsenal if it wasn't going to be doing it the hard way? The Leeds result basically tells you what we're all about as Arsenal fans. It's squeaky bum time, and it is right now. Now we got to go out, win our last 2 games. Thanks, Nay, for showing up. Night to you. Speak to you later. Thanks for joining the stream. Bertram is on about his Arteta dictator thing again. So we just got to do it the hard way. But the good news is in our hands. So if we fail, we fail on our own terms. But as far as this right now, like, I could never account we would be in this position at the beginning of the season with 2 games left in 4th place. Wow. I mean, congratulations, regardless of where we finish, for me, in my opinion, because we can't finish in 6th. 5th is the worst place that we can finish. And I think for Arteta, if you'd have told me at the beginning of the season that Arteta would have got 5th with this team, I would have bit your hand off for that. I would have bit your hand off for it. So, look, he's made some mistakes. I think there's been mistakes everywhere. We can go with Vinay. We can go with Edu with the transfer stuff in January. We can go with the mistakes that Arteta has made, and there's been plenty of them. And as a manager, you would expect that. But we've got to call it out when it happens. But when he's doing well, we've got to call that out as well. We got to be balanced when it comes to that. But the players is the main thing. I've always said when they cross the white line, it's down to them. And there's times when they've got it right, and we've had to get on them for that. But when they've got it wrong, and we've got to get on them for that. But when they've got it right, as a plethora over 38 games, then you've got to be proud of what they've done. They're the youngest team in the league. The youngest team in the league. The youngest team in the league, going up against Manchester United's might of spending, who finished 2nd last season, and Spurs with the best 2 tandem strikers in the Premier League. We are above them with a bunch of kids. So I think there's nothing to be ashamed of as an Arsenal fan, regardless who you are or what your narrative is, or which players you like or don't like. You've got to commend the work that they've done. Now we need to finish the job.
We have had to trust in the process for
Tony.
a couple of years, yeah?
Sorry, Tony. Tony, sorry. Can I just play what Ian Wright's saying? Can you hear it?
Yeah, turn it up a little bit.
We couldn't really break them down, because what you want from Spurs, and like you watch Spurs against City away from home, against Liverpool away from home, is they play like that. They play on the break because they've got quality forwards, in Harry Kane, in Son. So they can afford to, they'll drop off and then they'll hit you on the break. What we ended up doing there with Arsenal is because we gave them that penalty, then they got their 2nd goal. Spurs didn't need to do anything. They need to come out and play and do anything. So then Arsenal couldn't really get into them because we couldn't get ourselves going. But at the same time, I was expecting a different game, a bit patient, and then give them some problems, but it didn't. The way the game panned out is simply because of the way the goals came about and the sending off. It kind of handed them the game for me.
Yeah, I think first 10 minutes, Arsenal were the better side. They had more of the possession in Spurs' half. Spurs couldn't get hold of the ball, and I'm thinking this is going to be a really tough game. But I think the lack of discipline in the end, holding, as I kept saying at half time, we'll have a look, straight balls up. As a defender, sometimes you just got to hold your ground. Then he goes and he's been booked. Then you go and do that, what he did. Just let the ball wasn't even getting to Son. The ball was overhit from Dyer. And that's a lack of professionalism. It's like, I don't know if it's the heat of the North London derby. I don't know, the willingness to want to win.
I think he was scared of him, Gaff, right?
Yeah. But he hadn't got, on them 3 occasions, Ian, he hadn't got turned and was running at him.
No.
He was like, not his ball to win, I'm afraid. If that's a youngster coming to the first team and making his debut, he was saying, no, just stand up, let him knock it away, and then if he spins, go with him. Don't try and attempt to win that ball. There's no danger. And I don't know why Holding, he wanted to get tight all the time and go through the back of players. Yeah, straight ball. Look, he didn't need to try and win that. Then he kicks him a little bit in the back. And I think the referee's gone, all right, I'll give you one. The straight ball up again. Don't need to win it from there. You're not going to win it from there. You've got a good you know, if you've got a good striker, they're just going to get their body in between again. And in the end, the ref goes, "No, I've had enough now." Look, he goes 3 tackles. Look, 3. And now he's got to change his game. That's the thing. When you're on a yellow and you're a defender and you want to get tight and you can't do that anymore. And now this is ridiculous. It really is. It's a lack of discipline and doing the right thing at the right time. And the referee saw it.
I just think that when you're going to play like that against Son, I think that what Tottenham said was, let's just keep giving him it, because what's going to happen is that this is probably going to happen. You're going to get booked at some stage because, like I say, he looked like he was afraid of Son, and why wouldn't he be? He's an amazing player, and they just kept feeding the ball down to him. And in the end, like the referee said, it was 3, and then the sending off, he couldn't complain. You know, he couldn't complain about the sending off.
Yeah.
Yeah, so for that, really just mirrors everything that I was saying about the tactics. I came into it talking about tactically Spurs' strength, playing on the break, and what Arsenal had to do in order to facilitate that. I did say that from my view, Arteta should not play too high up the pitch and keep the ball slightly deeper in the midfield in order to ensure that when Spurs break, Kane and Song are covered, and that would be a strategy that works. It worked for Brentford. Brighton frustrated them all day doing that, but the tactic looked like it was very aggressive. Arteta came out and bullied Spurs on the back line, and Spurs couldn't play the ball out of the back. He used that weakness that Spurs have in the defense. When Romero's not in the midfield, he's the pivot guy who takes the ball out and starts to get that progression going. Spurs had none of that in the first 20 minutes, and Arsenal was just tormenting them. And I agree, the penalty changed everything. Had we not had the man sent off and the penalty had not happened, I could see Arsenal easily winning this game. But unfortunately, as I said, fine lines. And it's fine for you to make these mistakes at the intermediate level. But when you're talking about top games, you don't see these decisions happening against against Man United, Man City, Chelsea. You know, very rarely do you see these issues happen. But with Arsenal, you have issues where Gabriel gets a red card, Xhaka throws the team under the bus. Today, Rob Holding, I mean, he's got to be feeling awful about what happened today. But they happen, and it's happening because we've still got that lack of discipline in our game. A lot of it is because they're young players, or not Xhaka. I'm not talking about Xhaka, but for some of the other players, it's because they're young and they're brash and they just don't have that experience level yet. But they'll grow from these things. They'll grow from this experience and hopefully become players that we would hope that they want to be. And Bertram saying, Apollo, they're sickened, and as you seem to have missed the strategy employed by Tottenham in the game, they overloaded it and exploited the right because they knew it was our weakness. They didn't, because we had a plan for that. Holding was the guy who was going to overlap and help Cedric. Cedric got torched in the first game by Song. They clearly had a plan in place to deal with that, and they were dealing with it. They were dealing with it fine, Bertram, until the penalty happened, which was unfortunate. That's our different opinions on that, but it's good to hear what the other guys might think. But overall, Vincey, let me get, before I go into player ratings, what was your thoughts on the game overall, the tactics, the strategies? You're on mute at the moment.
By the way, Rob Holding isn't a youngster anymore.
Yeah, I know that. I know he's 26, I believe.
Yeah, I think we started well. We started the way as fans we wanted us to take the game to Spurs, and even though we didn't have clear cut chances when we were on top, we didn't capitalize. And yes, the sending off changed the game. The penalty put us behind. And I did say before the sending off that we didn't have control of the midfield. All of a sudden, our impetus where we were when we had Spurs on under the cosh and defending very deep, and we're doing it very well. In midfield, we didn't really have control of the ball, and that led to all what happened. And it's frustrating to lose the game the way how we started. But I think my biggest concern is the injuries that we're going to have as a result of the game, and that's going to be something that's going to affect us against Newcastle and how we turn around that. I believe we're going to play 3-5-2 or 3-5-1. How we got the energy levels for that is going to be telling.
Yeah, Robbie Keane's talking about Song should have been booked for the elbow as well, but I don't even want to talk about that. It's all gone now. But it's just the narrative, and that's the reason why me and Tony came out and said the decision was made long before the game, the whistle even blew. The fact that Song had 2 elbows, not 1, 2 elbows, and yeah, sure they were soft, but wasn't Rob Holding's yellow card soft? I mean, I've never seen a softer yellow card this season. But so, you know what? It's hindsight. It is what it is, man.
So in that situation, is it something that the captains can ask? The captains can ask the ref to go to check VAR in that situation with the elbow that Son did, or is it a case where VAR will check that if the referee doesn't see it, then
they won't do nothing. Yeah, because they don't have a challenge system. And I think, remember, Vincey, in American football, it took them 7 years to bring in a challenge system once video came in. When they had these discussions here, and because VAR is in its infancy, that might be something that they'll look at. They might say to them, you're allowed 1 challenge. And look, forget the NFL. The NBA only recently introduced video. And they have just implemented the challenge system. And they never had that for decades, for eons. But now in the NBA, you're allowed to challenge, and that was never a thing. So maybe it's something that we can look at in order to help. Because look, VAR works, guys. It's a great tool. It's just the people behind it making decisions that are wrong. So we need to do everything we can. Yeah, we can see, Tony.
You can see that image, Vincey. Are you telling me that Rob Holding has now got an elbow out?
That's not the moment of that's not the moment of impact, though. It's a second. It's a second or so behind. I know what you're saying.
I can't play the video because
I know
it would.
Because it would flag the video. Yeah.
Still, I'm gonna move it forward like literally a second. Yeah.
Okay. All right, but hold on, Tony. We've had this discussion already for about 10 minutes.
Bruv, where's the elbow there, bruv?
Yeah, is the all right. We've had that discussion
and that's probably the angle that the referee saw, and looking at it and seeing like that. That's why he's probably given it from that angle. I see. Bro, I understand what you're saying.
Can you tell me that he's got an elbow in his face?
No, it's not an elbow.
You saw the first picture. The first picture is literally a nanosecond before that.
All right, Tony, we've had the discussion already, bro. We're on different sides of the coins on that one. So, you know, I agree with Tony, but I do get Vincey's point. Bertram agrees with Vincey. But I didn't see I didn't see that. That's what I didn't see.
And that's what happened after.
For me, the elbow was tucked in all the time. But,
and then afterwards, what you'll see when you play it, you see it come up.
No.
Hold on, Tony. When you play it, you can play it in front
of Neomis's face.
When you see it, Son's reaction afterwards, you see the elbow. That's afterwards.
Bro,
that's afterwards.
Hang on, wait. If I hit you in the chest and your hand comes up to defend yourself after I've hit you in the chest, yeah? This is how I'm a boxer. Remember, I got the trophies to prove it. If I hit you in the chest, your hand will move up to defend the strike in the chest. It's a natural bodily movement, yeah? Your hand moving up in a defensive position, it's too late. I've already hit you in the chest. Yeah? In this situation, Son runs into Rob Holding and strikes him in the shoulder, what's going to happen with your arm? Your arm's going to come up. If I headbutt you in the chest, Tony, something's going to come up. But I've already hit you.
So what do you think the yellow card was for? Was it for blocking or was it for an elbow? Have they said what it was for?
So you tell me, Tom.
Sorry, guys. Arteta was talking and we've missed the interview. Let's see if we can get
playing against Newcastle and try to beat them. Although it's still in your hands, this victory for Tottenham, does this hand them the momentum? And of course, they play before you as well. We have 2 games to play each of us, and as you said, it's in our hands, and now we have to do our job.
What have you got to show to win both games?
Well, we showed from the beginning in this stadium the same.
I understand you're angry. Thanks for your time. Thank you very much.
Yeah, he's not happy.
Theo, what do you make of that?
He's protecting his players, of course. He has a manager.
Yeah, let's move on from that. Yeah, look, I can understand the frustration. But you know what? He's got to move on. It's in your hands. It doesn't really matter. The result's over. Tony, what was your overall thoughts of the game? Tactics? What would you have done?
Tactics went out the window when we got
penalty.
Well, the penalty doesn't kill us. The penalty is still 11 versus 11. I'm not worried about the penalty. I still think we're going to compete if we're 11 versus 11. It's when we lose the player that's when the game becomes unplayable. It's untenable. You can't do anything from that stage onwards.
I love this girl, Cecilia, by the way. She says, "We are the Phoenix. We will rise again." Yeah, I love this girl. I love this. Nice one, nice one. There, go on, Tony. Yeah, oh, that's Bertrand. Oh, Bertrand's playing with you, man. Bertrand's just playing with you.
Bertrand knows,
Bertrand's just playing with you. I can't wait to hear what Naomi says. Yeah. Look, Bertram and Vincey, they share one belief. Me and Tony share the other. I think Neomis was a little bit in the middle. But shall I go straight on to Neomis? Neomis, what's your overall thoughts on the game?
My thoughts on the game are similar to Tony in that I think we were pretty much even in the game, which is why I expected a draw. But for me, as soon as Rob Holding got sent off, game plan changes. And Tony, literally on the zone, I can click on the game after it's finished, and I'm watching the replay right now. Like Bertram's right. Like Holding literally puts his elbow back. And I understand the reason why. He wants to stop him, and he's being aggressive, which is I don't have a problem with our centre-backs being that way. I like that.
But do you think he's been aggressive because Song took two cheap shots on him and nothing happened? Referee let it go.
Possibly. Probably as like a check, you know, like to say,
it's a body check. It's a body check. Yeah.
It's like a body check. But the thing is, Holden shouldn't have gotten the first yellow card. That should have been his first yellow card.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
That's the point.
But that's the problem for me. That's the problem for me. Yeah, the first one was not a yellow. So, guys, let's go straight into the player ratings and let me talk about it. So, I'm not going to, we all saw what happened. So, look, he picked the ball out of the net 3 times. He made a couple of top saves. I think that's how it's gone for him over the couple of weeks. My biggest disappointment is that we haven't had a clean sheet in 8 or 9 games. I mean, it's not a good look. It's not a good look. But anyway, I'll give him a 5. Cedric Soares, I thought it was. I've given him a 4. It wasn't a good game from him. The penalty was really harsh. The penalty was really harsh. They had a game plan for him getting overrun, and he had his battles, and he made some fantastic blocks as well. 2, one on Song and one on Harry Kane running into the box, which would have been a sure goal for Kane. But I just think his overall display was below par, so I give him a 4. Rob Holding, I'm not even going to go on into this one. I'm just going to give him a 1 and move on. Gabriel, I'm going to give him a 5. Interesting. He was on Kane for the whole game. and pretty much held Kane in check for most of the game. But like, I don't have any complaints with Gabriel's performance. I think he put in. I think, considering it's hard to judge the centre backs, guys, because they're up against the top two tandem strikers in the league. So I think it's difficult because he's playing the game without Ben White, but that's not really an excuse. I think he had an edgy game. I think he gave as good as he got at times, and other times he struggled. A few times he lost Kane, and it's Harry Kane. So, look, I'm going to give him a 5. Tommy Atsu, I'm going to give a 5 as well. He started out at left back and switched into the middle. He looked calm the whole game. This occasion was not too much for him as a player. Dealt with the overlapping runs. The question is should he have started at right back and gone up against Song? Because in the first game when we beat them 3-1, he dominated Song on that side. So, yeah, there's probably a case for that, but I'm going to give him a 5 anyway. Mohamed El Nene, I'm going to give El Nene a 6.5. I think El Nene for me was my player of the game. He was apart from a horrible backward pass which went to the other team. I think he was fairly. He didn't look phased. The situation didn't phase him at all. Comfortable on the ball. I noticed when Spurs was pressing us, all of our players was looking for El Nene because he just knew what to do with the ball in calm, tight spaces. So I think being where he was, again, I'm going to give him my man of the match. It's not going to be Martinelli. Odegaard, I think Odegaard was in all sorts. So he's going to get a 5 from me today. I thought some of the balls he played on, 2 balls he played on Nketiah, one he played for Saka, which gave him his chance. And there was some good forward play from him, but it's his own play in terms of shots on goals. He had 2 opportunities to hit the target.
So if you go on who scored, Martin Odegaard's stats read 2 shots on target, 1 key pass. Pass accuracy, 100%.
Yeah, as I was saying, I was talking about some of the passes he put through, but my problem is, you talked about the 2 shots on target. He scuffed them, Tony. He didn't even catch the ball properly. So as I said before, you mentioned that his passing into the box to Nketiah and Saka was superb. He put them in some really good positions. So maybe I'm being harsh on him. His display should probably be because of his build-up. He's there to create, right? He's there to create. And from that standpoint, he did well. But come on, man. You got to score. You're Martin Odegaard. Every fan has questioned your ability to hit the back of the net. And today showed, I think it was Neomis that said it, he's just not very clinical in front of goal. It happened last week as well, where he's on that penalty spot. And you got a chance just to hit the target. And he just scuffs it. And we need to see better. And I'm a little disappointed because I'm a big Odegaard fan. He's literally my favorite player in the team outside of Nketiah. And this is the display that you give me. Yeah, you've done your creative job. But what did you do to hit the back of the net when you had the chance? I think he could have done more. And I'm always going to ask more from my players. And so I was a little disappointed. I expected him to score today. And I did put down that gauntlet before the game with Saka, him, and Martinelli. I want goals. Yeah, that's what I want. And he didn't give me any. It's a shame because he's one of the few bright spots in the team. Saka is probably about the same. But he just looks physically exhausted. Look, it's very difficult. He dug into a lot of duels. He got stuck in. You can see it's a London derby. You have to commend him for his commitment. But his body's not doing... His body can't physically do what his mind wants to do because he's gassed. He's just gassed. But his performance today, again, 5. Should have scored point-blank range, hits it at a defender. Should have been top left or top right. And he's got to do better. Martinelli, 6. If anyone was going to do anything, it was him. But always missing the end product. So energetic, so infused, good control, gets beyond the line, takes defenders on. You just know that he's a threat, but you just know that there's nothing that's going to come of it. And I don't want him to turn into an Oxlade-Chamberlain. You know, he looks like, to me, it looks like he's turning into Oxlade-Chamberlain, where you get all this fantastic stuff in the middle of the pitch, but when you get to the final third, you don't get anything at all. Now, I'm not saying he is Oxlade-Chamberlain, because he's delivered some wonderful assists over the last few weeks. He's definitely got more ability than the Ox, but he's not scoring. And I expect a player like him. I talk about Martinelli as a striker, as a point striker. Before Nketiah, I said they need to put this guy up front. But he doesn't look clinical at all. I'm not seeing it.
You know why?
I haven't seen it for
because
months.
He plays in a system, and he plays his part in that system. His job is not to score the goals.
Everybody's job is to score goals, Tony. Yeah. You're playing in that wide left position that Aubameyang scored 20 goals a season in. Your job is to score goals, man.
Okay, but what happens is if you don't have somebody overlapping you, or someone inside of you, like on Saka's side, you got Odegaard.
Yeah.
On Martinelli's side, you got Xhaka.
Yeah. I know. Yeah,
so
I totally agree.
You're asking, my guy already has to beat 3 guys.
Yeah, you said it before. If he's got to be 3 guys and score, that's how it's got to be.
That's what you're asking for.
Yeah. I agree, Tony. I agree with you on that. Nketiah, who's my guy, some parts of his game today I really liked. Got himself into some good positions, kept fighting for every ball, dropped back into the midfield and helped. And look, you're going to get that from him. That's standard. Yeah, you're going to get commitment. You're going to get energy. You're going to get recoveries. He's going to fight for duels. That's his game. No other striker's going to give you that. But there were times I saw today when he tried to be too clever. There was one time he tried to backheel the ball and gave the ball away in a crucial position. You just can't do that, Eddie. You can't do that. You can't do that. And then there was that embarrassing dive at the beginning of the game. You can't do that. Look, I'm going to put it down to lack of experience because he ain't played a lot. So I'm going to put it down to that, and I'm not going to... You're my guy, yeah? He's my client. So I'm always going to try and shout out for you. But those couple of things that you did was foolishness, and I don't want to see you do that again. Yeah? Get your head down. Focus on your work. Today I'm giving you a 5. Come up against Newcastle and show me that you're worth an 8 or a 9. Yeah? Redeem yourself. You didn't play badly today. I'm not saying you played badly. I'm saying that you could have done better. But I do again. He tested Lloris, was going in undercut of the post of the crossbar, but the goalkeeper made a fantastic save. I expect that from you, Eddie. That's my expectations for you. So you're doing your job there. What I don't want you to do is then piece of foolishness I see you doing in the first 10 minutes. So yeah, I don't want to see that. And Arteta, I give him a 5. I thought his tactics, he set out in the game well. I thought they were dominating Spurs for 20 minutes, and the game went away from them with the penalty and the sending off. I think had not happened, I think he set his team out to do the right thing, and it was working. And it probably wasn't something I would have done, but the sheer aggressiveness and the urgency and the tenacity of the front players just shutting everything down and winning the ball back from Spurs, I thought that was working really well for him. And it's no surprise that he's come out today in that interview that we just listened to and said he's not going to change anything against Newcastle because it was working. But what you don't want to see is your players just doing stupid little things and making mistakes. And I don't even know whether I can blame Rob Holding because the first one was not even a yellow card, but it happened. So that's my ratings. Vincey, I'm going to go straight to you. You got the conch.
Well, I'm not going to go too far from what you've put down here. I mean, all I would say is that I will congratulate the guys on how they started the game. This is something that we wanted them to start on the front foot, and they took the game to Spurs, closed them down really well. The only thing that I will give Xhaka a 6. I'll give El Neni the same as what you've got there. I'd put Odegaard down to a 4. I would put Saka down to a 4. And I won't change anything else from what you got there. The problem we have here is we're a team that relies on our wingers because that's where our pace is. And unfortunately, the dysfunction of the system that we play that's where our strength is. But it leaves those players out on an island. And Martinelli was on an island in that first 25 minutes where he was our best player, attacking player, but he had to go past so many players. And I didn't see the Leeds game, but it's a concern where if we're not having the opportunity to create good chances and take them, it's going to be a worry when we go up against Newcastle. So hopefully we come out with the same attitude and take the game to Newcastle, and we have better opportunities to take some chances.
So hang on a second. Vincey, you give Odegaard 4, but you're going to give Saka 5.
No, I said Saka 4 as well.
Okay, that's fine.
I said Saka 4 as well. I mean, it's, I listened to Arteta's, whilst you were talking, I listened to Arteta's post-match interview, and again, what Tony says, I've said it several times this season, and Tony said it rightly. He didn't bring on Ben White because the nature of the game was already lost. So if he's not going to do that, then you're going to have to look at players who actually need to get the rest and use the players on the bench to give them rest. He did that with Tavares. He did that with Smith Rowe. But Saka, who performed at a 4 today, is still on the pitch. And again, this is the concern that we have as fans moving forward. But that's all I'm going to say. I'm not going to change my rating in what you've got with Arteta there, 5 today. If he's going to come out with the same tactics, I just hope we have Ben White in a better position to play, because I'm a bit concerned now with Gabriel having a hamstring, which is a big worry.
I just want to tell you, just so you got some stats, yeah? You know me, I love these stats. Odegaard had 4 shots, 3 shots on target. Bukayo Saka had 2 shots, no shots on target. I've already mentioned this. Martin Odegaard doesn't play a pass that goes anywhere near another player. 100% pass accuracy.
Yeah, he's good.
Yeah. Oh, that's very unusual.
Oh yeah, it is. It's for a number 10. Yeah.
And this is the North London derby. You got to think, bloody hell, something's got to go wrong for this guy.
Yeah.
100% pass accuracy. That's ridiculous. But on top of that, yeah, Bukayo Saka, unsuccessful touches. This is where the ball comes to you and your touch, the ball goes away. 3. Martin Odegaard, 0. So I'm looking at these stats and thinking to myself, Lord have mercy. This guy, he needs to be dropped. I'm not saying he's turned into a bad player, but...
Odegaard you're referring to?
No, Saka.
Saka, yeah. But it's not just Saka.
To be benched.
Yeah, it's not just Saka. It's the wide players are just not producing at the moment, and while Martinelli's
listen,
while Martinelli's not playing well,
let me tell you why you can't say that. Martinelli's still creating chances. Martinelli, you said it.
Yeah, the assist. Oh yeah, the assist. Yeah, I did. Yeah.
At the start of the game, that you were like, "Raw." Did you see what my man just did?
Mm.
He pretty much laid the ball on a plate for somebody in the box. I can't remember if it was...
It was Odegaard.
It was
Odegaard. Yeah, that was the one where he scuffed it, yeah.
And you kind of go, well, he doesn't have a Martin Odegaard on his side of the pitch.
Mm.
So I'm of the opinion, you know what? And this is again where I find fault with Arteta. At some point in the game, do you not think Bring Martinelli over to the right-hand side. Let him see how he can get on against your left back.
Tony,
they used to rotate and switch a lot, don't they? They didn't do that in this game.
Tony, I would say this has been the problem. I've been saying it along. This system, when we play 4 at the back, causes us to be a very rigid team moving forward, and it is not allowing us to score enough goals and have quality chances because of the system. When we play 3 at the back and we have compact in the midfield, then we have more opportunity to play our type of football and use our pace. At this late stage of the season, you're now seeing it when players even more so are tired and are carrying injuries. It's, those stats are shocking when you consider a whole season. Saka's been playing, the minutes he's been playing, and the productivity. It is alarming, but unfortunately, if the manager doesn't want to change his system and change the personnel, this is what we have.
Yeah, that's true. Bertram looking like Bushman, isn't it? Dick Turpin, highwayman business, man.
I'm not sure my face when I get destroyed by Tottenham. I can't go on a program talking about showing my face. I'm embarrassed.
Yeah, I was doing before you turned up. I was about to read out your play ratings. I've got a few here to read out.
So here's my thing, guys. Here's my thing. So a couple of things, which is we were outmanaged today. We were embarrassingly outmanaged. So
by the referee?
No, I say outmanaged, not out-refereed. So when you play against Tottenham, your first concern is Kane and Son. Kane and Son. The rest of them were inept before they brought the right wing on and Bentancur to the team. Incompetent. The players are not that great. And Romario also came in, so he's pretty good in their defense. So your first thing is say, the last time we played him, Tamayasu shut down Son. I'm gonna play Tamayasu on the right. That's not debatable. That's not questionable. That's what you should expect to do. I don't care who I put on left. I wouldn't play Tavares. I would have played Stories on the left. Because Tavares is a mistake waiting to happen. And Kulusevski can play football. So I play Tamayasu on the right. That's the first thing. They're playing 4 across the middle. So there's always going to be mismatch when they're attacking us. Because Cedric then has to go cover Sessegnon. So then your right inside center half has to cover Son. That is not something which you can afford to happen. Because neither Suarez or Holding can run. They're like tortoise. They can't run. They're slow as snail. So what you have now is when Kane picks the ball up and look left, or Dyer picks it up, which what happened, and play the ball out wide, they can't catch up to him. I am so frustrated watching this nonsense. I said to my nephew, at 25 minutes, he has to take him off. He got a yellow. He could have gotten another yellow before that. He has to take him off because there's no way he'll survive till halftime. And I was case in the chat, by the way, for initially. I said that Apollo, he's got to take Holding off.
Yeah,
and
you did.
You did. Yeah, it's not debatable, guys. This is not rocket science. Because even if he survived that play, Tony, he'd have got a yellow later on. Because somebody's going to go around him. He has to trip him. He has to push him and fall in. The penalty was questionable. You can hear him. The penalty was questionable. That happens in the box all the time. You call it, he called it. That's fine. But the decision by the manager not to play Tommy on the right and protect Holding was ludicrous. If Ben White can play, even more so you need to protect Holding. Because the speed to catch up. And Swords is a snail. So we were up, and what they were doing, Apollo, if you're watching the game, is overloading that side. They're overloading that side. They place Castellano further. They bring Ben Davis around. They try to get Sun in behind, and that was happening, and we didn't counter that. And that's how the game materialized, and that's why the way it was. So in my ratings, Ramsdale didn't have to do much except pick the ball out the net. Suarez is not good enough. We've been saying that all season. Holding, I'm not going to kill Holding, but he needs to know better. And he has a good temperament. He's not like Xhaka, who you expect that from. So that was disconcerting, that what transpired. But he was overmatched, and he felt vulnerable. And
but Bertram, don't you think though, which is what I said to Vincey, is the fact that Song elbowed him twice and the rest did nothing, it wounded him up. You could see Holding was rounded up.
Apollo,
you have to
it only matters if the ref sees it, Apollo. Yeah. It only and your thing that you did is in ref plane's view. First of all, you blocked him to get the ball. So even at the elbow, it's still a yellow card because you blocked him. He's going in behind, you blocked him. He's still going to get a yellow card. It makes no... So everyone is focused on the yellow card. It's the blocking that prevents him from going around to get the ball, which creates the yellow. The elbow is just addition to it.
Yeah, I think that Vinci and Tony was on about that. For me and Neomis, we were saying the first booking was never a yellow card.
The first booking, he held them, guys. So when they were fighting, he held them. He called him the yellow card because he held them. It's plain he held them. You can't hold people in. You can do it in European football. You can do it. Look at Real Madrid play Man City, where what's his name was taking people down like a joke and didn't get a yellow card ever. Right?
Yeah,
you could do that, and you can't do that in Premier League.
Can I just get something clear first?
Can I please retort here? Please allow me just a 1 minute against this argument about the elbow. I've already made it clear to Apollo and to Vinci about what happens when you strike somebody. This whole thing about listen, this is like a blocking foul in basketball. If a man's gonna run past me, yeah, all I'm gonna do is stand in front, parallel. He then has to divert his run. If he cannot divert his run, he's gonna run into me.
And Tony, here's a mistake, Tony.
Not an illegal foul.
Tony, here's your mistake. Here's a mistake. There was no intention to play the ball. He blocked the man. He made no attempt to play the ball.
Hold on, wait. He doesn't move to the man.
He did. Go on YouTube. No, go on YouTube and watch it. No, Tony, pull up your YouTube now and go check. Put holding red card.
I got it on my phone.
No, go to YouTube and put holding red card. He blocked him. It's not disputable, Tony. He blocked him and put his elbow up.
So as I said, the problem for me was the first one was not a yellow, and I heard what you just said, Bertram. In my recollection, what you were talking about wasn't the yellow card. You know where he picked him up and he did that kind of a rugby thing?
No. He got a yellow. When he held him, he got around him. They were tangling. Someone trying to get away. He held him and pulled him back. Yes.
That's right. Yeah. So it was the second one. It wasn't.
No, it's not the one where we're tangling. I didn't focus on the tangling one.
Yeah, because that's the one where Song elbowed him twice.
Apollo. Those two events told you he was vulnerable. And if you're slow as he is, like a snail, you can't keep up with Son for the rest of the game. Here's the thing, Apollo, which is disappointing. Ben Davies got a yellow card earlier. Did he get any pressure for the rest of the game?
Yeah, I said to them, Saka needs to run it in for the rest of the game. What did Saka do for the rest of the game?
Saka is not good enough.
Nothing.
Saka is not good enough. Now, you guys, like people on AFTV, lose their man when I say this. And they're all up in arms. And I don't know football. I agree, I don't know football. Saka is not good enough. I hate to tell you guys this. He's not good enough for what we need to make top four. Saka's conversion rate before the 70 game of the season was 14%. Saka scored about 6 goals in a row, along with 2 penalties, and then he hasn't scored for the last 8 games from open play. These are stats Tony like to quote. I look at those stats also. Martinelli hasn't scored in the last 10 games. Our wing players are not good enough goal scorers to make the defense be in a comfortable situation to play out the game. We pressure the midfield and defense, our front line to score goals. Odegaard, Tony, brilliant of the ball. He's technically challenged, and he doesn't score enough. He doesn't score enough. He gets shots on the 18 to place in the goal, and they're not going in the goal. Right. The keeper's not even diving. He's getting the ball straight to him. So we're challenged when we think about the football. And you guys, all the people who talk about Saka as if he's the next coming of Christ, I sit there thinking, I need to go revisit football. I've been watching for a long time. I don't know football at all. The man has no right. The kid has no right foot. And his left foot is better than his right foot. He has no right foot. He only walks on it. He's not a great goal scorer. He's brilliant in holding the ball and waiting for help. How many times does he take the ball and run past the defense? I saw them betting a game yesterday. He picked the ball up, 3 men on him, put between the man center, and he's gone to set up an assist. How many times Saka picked the ball up on the right, fake left, go right, and he's gone? Doesn't happen. So when you guys are all lauding him about how wonderful he is, the kid has a lot of potential. He's a very good player. He's not good enough today. I'm sorry, he's not good enough. And it's very obvious.
I'm going to put a little bit of normality on that tirade that you just made by saying at the start of the season, my guy was getting no help running past 3 players for fun. And
no. He never run past 3 players. Never.
I'm going to tell you, I was at the ground, Bertram. I know
Tony, here's what you guys do, Tony.
Hang on. I know at least one game earlier on the season, I sat next to Apollo and we marveled how Bukayo Saka ran past 2-3 players on his side and created assists.
So Tony, I've been watching Saka now for the last 3 years. The kid is a lot
of potential. I'm not going to say he's what you said about not being able to do stuff, I disagree with.
So when in the last 8 games have he done Tony, when in the last 8 games has he done this?
Hang on.
Yeah, go ahead.
I will agree with you on is he stopped doing it of late. He stopped attacking players. He stopped scoring goals.
Because he's tired.
No, Tony, Apollo, what you guys do is? No, Apollo. Here's what you guys do. You know what you say? He's been marked by 3 people. You know when Martinelli picks it up? Because Martinelli can't hold his head up because something is holding his head down, that frustrates me. But Martinelli will pick it up and go by people. Or force them to commit to him so he can play the ball off. Look, Saka's going to be a brilliant player, but he's not Foden. So when you guys are getting all excited, Arsenal fan, he's not Foden, he's not Dembele, he's not Sterling, he's not all these, he's not Salah, he's not Mane. Our problem is our front players are not good enough. Not good enough doesn't mean they won't be good players. Not good enough means when you need goals to differentiate yourselves and get top 4, we struggle. How many goals has Odegaard, Martin, and Saka scored in the last 10 games?
I agree with you 100%.
Yeah, I do agree with him as well. But the one thing I've always talked to Bertram on is, while I think Bertram's looking at the bigger picture, the overall factor, it doesn't matter about his age. It matters about what are you going to do to win, to help a team win a championship. So I agree with Bertram on that. The other side of it, where I don't agree with him, is on Saka's the third, and actually he's the second highest goal scorer in Europe under the age of 21. He's one of Europeans' top scoring talents at that age. So yes, he's not there yet, but he's getting there. Last season, he scored 4 goals. We had this conversation. This season, he's got 11 goals, the team's top scorer, and we're having the same conversation. What we need to do is be patient with...
He has 9 from open play. Guys, I'm going to manage this. Pepe had 21 goals in the French league. Pepe had 11 goals from open play.
Yeah, so what we need to do is just be patient with the guy and watch him develop. That's what we need to do as fans.
No, but Apollo, we don't have time to watch you develop. We're trying to make Champions League. We've been on Champions League for the last 5 years. We ain't got no patience to watch you develop.
Yeah, we do have time.
No, we don't.
We do. This is a plan.
If we don't make Champions League this year, remember I said this, Apollo. We don't make it this year, we're not making it for the next 5 years.
Okay, and you may be right. I'm not saying you're wrong.
Apollo, Man U and Tottenham. If Tottenham have Conte, who's a better manager than ours, Levy has to spend money to build this team up because he's a winner. He's a serial winner. And then Man U gonna have to go spend a ton of money.
Yeah, and Newcastle's gonna spend. Yeah, I agree. I don't disagree with you. What I am saying is, patience and being humble is part of this 3-year plan to get into the Champions League. They've been at this for 2 years, and if they win their next 2 games, they are ahead of schedule, not behind. Let's get perspective here. We're all going crazy because this is a very emotional time.
Apollo, we're going crazy because we're concerned about the next 2 games. Apollo, we're going crazy because we're concerned about the next 2 games. We can't score goals. That's why we're going crazy, Apollo. We have no confidence in the next 2 games. That's why we're losing our mind, because we see the pie, it's right on the tree. We're trying to reach it. It's right in our hands. That's why we're frustrated.
Yeah, I agree. Tony, did you finish your Ashley Bertram? You was doing have you finished yours?
I thought I'm not gonna kill Holding. I think the manager left him out to dry. The manager is I blame for Holding, not holding himself. Holding tries. He's Arsenal through and through. He was doing his best. He was against Son is a quality player.
Yeah, every defender struggles against them.
Left foot, right foot, move off the ball. It's unfair to Holding. Gabriel, I thought, played okay. I think Kane gave him a hard time in the second half, but he played okay. Tavares came on and did his thing. But Tavares can't defend to save his life because he lacks awareness. But going forward, Apollo, at the beginning of the season, he was doing very well.
I know. That's what I said. I said in the stretch of 7 games, we couldn't criticize him. They didn't bring Turney back into the team because he was playing so well.
But he lost confidence, so his offensive game has suffered, just like his defensive game. Shaka, your favorite player, held his own. He wasn't overly dominant like he was in the last couple of games. I thought El Neni also held his own. I think they were both average today, frankly. Because you know what, we get out to 10 men, you're not going to see much of the ball. Tony quotes Odegaard's wonderful stats. 100% passing, 2 shots on goal. And Tony, the eye test tell me he wasn't in the game. Sorry to tell you that, Tony. Even 100% passing, the eye test tell me this stat sounds wonderful after the fact, but where were you? I saw more Nketiah than I saw of him, and Nketiah didn't touch the ball.
Well, Bertram, he could have had 3 assists today. 3 very good assists.
I know Saka had 1, but he was on his right foot. He has to play it on his left foot. I'm sorry, Saka doesn't have a right foot. Yeah. But that's unfortunate. Martinelli, I thought played well. He had 1 good cutback, which Nketiah scored off last week. Similar play. No one was there. I thought he played well, actually. Without again scoring, Nketiah run his heart out. But I struggle with Arteta's decision not to go defensive when we went up to 10 men with the hope of nicking a goal. Keep it compact. We still went offensive with the same team. And defensively, we were all over the place. It's a tough decision to make, but it wasn't smart. Saka, I know I'm going to get killed for Saka, but he's been poor the last 8 games, and he was poor again today. I gave Arteta a 0 because in the start of the game, Tommy has to play on the right. It's not even something you question. Tommy held Son down the last game. Tommy has height. Tommy has recovery speed. Tommy's a good ball player. Soares has none of those. Why are you playing Soares there and putting Soares and Holding on the same side of the field is beyond me. And Arteta not taking hold. Look, guys, let me tell you this. If this was Conte, Holding would have been pulled in the 25th minute. He pulled Sessegnon in the game in the 30-something minute, and Sessegnon wasn't playing as bad as Holding was today in terms of trying to stay up with Son. Sessegnon didn't have a yellow card. He pulled him in the 30-something minute. I've seen Mourinho does that with players because you know what? You want to win the game, and you can't take the risk. When you have a dangerous forward playing against you, and you have a yellow card, you have to ask yourself, well, you know what? What happens the next 2 or 3 times? And they're going to feed him, by the way, because Son is a primary target. So if you keep him on the field and he's slow, at some point he has to hold him back because he's going to get behind him. So to me, Arteta was outmanaged today, and it resulted in us losing. But as everyone is saying, because I'm an eternal pessimist, we have 2 more games remaining. Newcastle away, with all these players coming back, with their forward coming back, Trippier coming back, they're with midfield with Guimaraes and all of them. I'm not optimistic. In fact, Newcastle team is as good as ours right now. This Newcastle team you have, they put the best 11 in the field, is as good as our best 11.
So Arsenal are in 4th place and Newcastle are in 14th.
And Newcastle didn't win a game until what, January?
Yep.
And you like to quote from January onwards because you manage these stats, you know. You like Tony, you manage these stats. You will say from January onwards, you know, our record is the 2nd best in the league. That's what you say sometimes. Well, Newcastle didn't win a game until like January or December, and they're 14th. They won 5 in a row before they last played Liverpool and played Man City.
So Bertram, can I just ask you if you're, and I agree with most of what you just said there. You know, when you're comparing Newcastle to the Arsenal team and saying they're probably about the same performance right now, which player in the Arsenal team would you compare your favourite player, St. Maximin, to right now?
Well, it's Martinelli. It's Martinelli.
Okay.
It's Martinelli. Yeah, I mean, look at their midfield. They have Guimaraes, they have Shelby, they have Willock, and they have, I'm missing somebody.
It's functional. They've got a functional midfield.
And then Joe Linton. They have functional midfield. Their forward line, they bring back the kid from Bournemouth who they bought.
Almiron.
No, not Almiron. The kid, they send it forward, man. That plays for England too, or played for England. Is it
Callum Wilson?
Callum Wilson is back. So Wilson playing with St. Maximum, and they'll play somebody on the right. Maybe it's going to be Joe Linton.
Yeah,
they have Trippier back in the defense. They have Byrne back in the defense. So their team is not the worst team.
Yeah,
they match up with our team pretty well.
Yeah,
and the only losses they've come off 2 losses, which is 5-0 to City and 1-0 at home to Liverpool.
But everybody losing 5-0 to City in the last part of the season.
Exactly. So yeah, then they got us and then they got Burnley, but they're safe. But
they're not worried about it. And Spurs only have Burnley because Norwich stopped playing. Norwich is preparing for the championship. And Burnley's fighting for their lives. And by the way, when we played Everton the last time, Everton was a better team. And this is a better Everton team. This is a better Everton team.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So we've got, let me go quickly to Cool K. Cool K says Ramsdale 5, Cedric 3, Holding 0, Gabby 5, Tommy 6, Xhaka 5, El Nene 6, Odegaard 6, Martinelli 6, Nketiah 5, Saka 4, Arteta 6. Who we've got to go to. Tony, you haven't done your ratings, have you?
Everyone just gets a 4.
Oh, wow. No man of the match.
Yeah.
Okay.
Who's
we've
your
got...
man of the match?
Yeah, so how are you going to give Holding a 4 and he gets a red card?
I can't believe you don't give Martinelli a 0.5, 4.5 or something, man. Give him a little something.
Probably if he's man of the match. Zach says Cedric set the tone for me. What a clown. And Holding. I don't want to hear Saliba can't get into the back four. Yeah, it's a different situation though.
And I keep hearing Tony talking about Saliba. Saliba is not coming back to Arsenal.
Yeah,
Saliba and Arteta will not get along. There is bad blood there. They won't get along, Tony. It's not.
Kuke says Martinelli needs to learn from Diaz from Liverpool. That's what he should reach to be top level.
Yeah.
I have to agree with Bertram again. And this is something that, I've been harping on about this all season. But the chosen one, the process, trust the process. Listen, he's locked in now. He got another 2 years on his contract. I can't do anything now. I can't criticize him because there's no point.
Yes, I agree with you.
That's me and Pepe right there. I just don't talk about Pepe anymore. Cecilia says, please don't break Saka's confidence. He's just an inexperienced young boy thrown into the field. And I think we've probably said something more on there which didn't make it. Sporty says, why are we having a conversation about Saka? The kid has been carrying a knock for the last 5 games and visibly fatigued. He will come good again. He says, I agree with Apollo, definitely ahead of schedule. At the beginning of the season, we had no business talking about top 4, and it's actually achievable. I think, the frustration is, like Bertrand said, it's there for us to reach it, just to pick it off the tree. Hex says, Martinelli just gets better and better, but Holden and Cedric were embarrassing, honestly abysmal. I thought we were dominating the first 20 minutes. Kuke says, release Coutinho. Well, you don't know if you didn't try. Look what happened when we played Nketiah.
He's not ready.
Yeah, they said that about Nketiah, didn't they? And look what happened there.
No, release Hutchinson.
Oh God, yeah. Kuke says Sporty Jordan, we're ahead of the development. And Hex says we've made it stupidly hard for ourselves though. Newcastle coming from this defeat away from home is going to be a tough cookie. Neomis, you got the conch.
Okay, so I don't think there's a lot of differences between like what I would give ratings and yours. I think probably the only ones I'd have to put was Xhaka. I thought I had an okay game, so I'd give him a 5. El Nene, I'd also give a 5. Odegaard, I'd drop to a 4. For me, he had I think 3 shots that were on target, and he was in a great position. And I just felt he could have done so much better in those times. So for me, I gave him a 4. Saka, I thought was okay, so I'd stick with the 5. Martinelli, I think was a 5 as well, and same thing with Nketiah. And Arteta, probably a 4. And apart from that, that's it. For me, I just want this game is over. I don't want to concentrate on it. Like I knew it was going to be a tough game, but for me, the whole red cards, that losing Holden, like that has ruined this game overall.
Here's another point also. How many red cards have we gotten under Arteta's leadership? This is alarming for a football team.
Yeah, it is.
You can't play Xhaka alone anymore because they're giving out all the time to all the players. Not just a Xhaka situation. We have red cards galore this season.
What is he supposed to do? It's not him doing the red cards, is it? He's got to try and set the disciplined tone. But when you've got players just doing that, I mean, what can you do? It's hard on him. I mean, the record is bad. It's not good. It's not good because now he misses the next game. So you've now got another. You've got to start fishing and moving more chess pieces that you don't have.
Can we recall a manager in the last 3 or 4 managers where you have so many red cards by his players? Under Emery, Wenger. Can we recall any manager where we have had all these red cards?
I think there was a period when Arsene Wenger had a very bad record with players with red cards, and it did affect our championship challenge. But yeah, I mean, right now this season, 2 yellows is the indiscipline has affected us with those.
Vincey, you know what's bad? He got 2 yellows in the first 27 minutes. Like, that's hard to do. Martinelli got two yellow cards in the same sequence of play.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. I mean, it's like it's these simple things.
Martinelli could leave the club in the summer. To go where? Like, to go where though? Like, I mean, like, listen.
Tony, they're all replaceable. Every single one of our front players are replaceable. Nketiah, Saka, Martinelli, all replaceable. Odegaard, all replaceable. Sorry, they're all replaceable.
Where is that story coming from?
I think what we've got to consider is a lot of players, even though we've seen them probably start for Arsenal right now or be on the bench, I personally don't think they're happy. I don't think players are happy because I'm not seeing their brand of football being displayed enough on the pitch. And, it gets to the point, this is where you get these rumours where these type of players, huge talent, we shouldn't be allowing these players to leave. But it's a situation where if it does happen, I personally wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if Pepe's last game for Arsenal was wearing the against Leeds. I wouldn't be surprised if Saliba doesn't come back to us in the summer. I wouldn't be surprised if Nketiah doesn't join, because you have to look at the stages in which the club is right now. As Tony's mentioned, and I've mentioned before, we've got the World Cup coming up. Players are going to want to be playing first team football. They've seen the way how Arteta's managed the team, and if they're not in those positions and they don't look like they're going to get these opportunities, they won't come back. And that's the reality.
It is the reality. That's why Niles isn't here. You play one game, you get man of the match, and you don't see the pitch for the days.
Yeah, but I think things will change next year, right? So we're going to be in the Europa League next year. So when you're in the Europa League, you have much more games to play. You'll need a big squad, and people will get game time. They may not get.
How you know we're going to be in the Europa League next year?
Oh, you caught that,
huh? Well, listen, congratulations to Bertram though, because you did predict that we were going to make the Europe. You did, and I couldn't see it, so I have to give a big shout out to you, Bertram, because you thought this team could do it. I didn't. You thought the manager could do it. You thought the team could pull together. I didn't see it. I couldn't even make that decision to judge the talented players that we had. A lot of them was an unknown commodity. Tomiyasu, Ramsdale, Sambi. We just didn't know what we were going to get. So
I think our problem is up front, and because we've given up a lot of goals, we haven't kept a clean sheet in the last 8 games. But our forward line are not scoring, guys. It's been the last 3 years the same thing. Even Abba was here, the same thing. And Abba got his big contract. That year he's doing all the scoring. The next year for that we weren't scoring. This year we're not scoring.
Yeah, but
57 goals I think the last 2 years, and we're not going to score much more than that this year.
Yeah, but Nketiah has scored 4 in his last 4 in his last 4.
And I follow. And what did we do in the previous 3 when we got 3-0 from Palace, and we lost 2-1 to Brighton, and we lost 1-0 to Southampton?
Yeah, where we had a striker that weren't even shooting on goal.
Yeah, but I'm just saying,
but can I just say that I know fans look and think, okay, our attacking players aren't scoring, but you got to think, are they having quality chances to score? Does the system allow them quality chances to score? Because you can put names on a score on a team sheet and a formation and put them out and say, you know what, you're an attacking player, you should score. But
so Vincey, let me answer that question. My 4 attacking players should interlink enough to create enough chances for themselves. Forget about my 2 holding midfielder, which is Partey and Xhaka. My left winger in Martinelli, my 10 in Odegaard, my center forward in Laka or Nketiah, and my right wing in Saka, how Liverpool score their goals. I know a lot come from the wings, but Salah creates goal, Mane creates goal, Jota creates goal. You got to create goal. Yeah, Tony.
Yeah, can I just say, you mentioned Partey and Xhaka playing, but they're not the same. They don't play in the same position. Xhaka's position, and I mentioned it again today at the start of the game when we had 11 players, is far advanced of the holding pivot midfielder. And then he played in a single pivot at the start of the game. Xhaka's position is further upfield. It's
number
a
8.
redundant position on the pitch.
Yeah, it's number 8. Who is
Tony? So, Tony, here is the contradiction. I have an unathletic player who can't beat a man, who is not skillful, and he's playing far advanced. So if I'm pressing, he can't press to create challenge on me. And when he gets it, he can't beat me. I make this incisive pass. How does that make sense?
But that's
Perfect.
the system.
Thank you.
But that is the system of what I'm talking about, where when you're expecting your attacking players to, as you say, come together, they're playing to a system. And that's the problem that doesn't allow us to create decent scoring opportunities enough.
So here's the problem, guys. Football is phasing out the 10. We are locked into the 10. Football is phasing out the 10. So the 10 is not a traditional 10. De Bruyne, people say play 10. No, he doesn't really play 10 for City. He plays all over the darn field. He plays all over the field as a supposed 10. Real Madrid doesn't have a 10. PSG doesn't have a 10. Liverpool doesn't have a 10. Right? And if you have a 10, and the 10 is not like a Madison who has some athleticism, so you can even shift in an 8 or whatever, Odegaard can only play in the 10 slot, and he's useless any place else. But he has to play every game. So you have to play 4-2-4, 4-2-1, 3-1 every game. You can't play a 3-5-2 or a 3-4-3 because Odegaard has to play. So you're a slave to a formation because of who you want to have on the field. Unlike Tottenham today, where the matchup didn't work because when they had 3 at the back, the matchup messed us up when we had 4 at the back.
So I just wanted to answer Vincey's question because, as Bertram said, I love my stats, and I've always believed that it's a myth that this team can't create, and I've provided many stats over the months.
No, we say can't score, Apollo. We can't score.
Yeah. Because the scoring is the problem today. I outlined 2 or 3 instances where we had the ball in scoring positions, and I did mention other teams like City and Liverpool in that position would have clinically finished those chances. We're not that good at doing it, and we fluff the chances. Half of the times, you literally for 90% of the season, you've managed to carry a striker who at the end had 8 touches in one game, and had 1 shot on goal in his last 3 games. That was the straw that broke the camel's back. But Arsenal are a very creative team, and because I think what it is last season we were 18th in shots, second from bottom, 16th in chances created. We were awful last season, awful. But this season we've come at. Actually, I think I've got something we can have a look at here. This was the tail of the tape, as Tony would say in boxing terms. Before today's game, when you looked at Spurs, you looked at Arsenal. The number 1 ranking, obviously, is goals scored. Spurs are 4th, Arsenal are 7th. Bertram talked about 56 goals, 4 behind Spurs. Expected goals from the chances you create, Arsenal are 4th, and Spurs are 6th. The shots, how much shots per game? We're 3rd in the league. Only Liverpool and City take more shots than Arsenal do. Shots on target, we're 5th. So forget the fast breaks because Spurs are dominant in that they get all their goals from counter attack. But this is the key area here: shots and shots on target. And what Bertram is talking about is us being clinical, and maybe to a point Vincey as well. Yeah, we are creating the chances. We're just not scoring. And that is down to the fact that these guys can't hit a barn door. They're not getting their shots on target. When they are on target, they're straight at the goalkeeper. it's hard to put Nketiah into that argument because he's a natural born goal scorer. He's only started a handful of games. But what this does is tell Arteta, you need to get some guys who know where the back of the net is. Because with what Odegaard is doing back there, yeah, the amount of chances these guys are giving you laying on a plate, you're not taking it. And that is the frustration. That is my frustration. Because we've made a huge jump from last season being near the bottom of the league in chances created and shots, which was embarrassing. Absolutely embarrassing. This season, you could see, and maybe this is part of our growth. I don't know. Maybe this is all to do with the young guys growing together as a team, getting used to the formation. Because let's be fair, last season we weren't playing in any kind of formation. You know, it wasn't native to us and what we wanted to do. So maybe this is part of our journey and I don't need to worry as much. But what this does show is that we're not clinical. We're not taking our chances. The opportunities are there. We just ain't doing anything with it. And today, when I talked to you guys, it was the 80th minute. And I said, hold on a second. Them chances that we've had, we could have scored 2 goals. If we'd have buried those chances, it'd have been 3-2 and we'd have had 10 minutes. With 10 men, by the way, to get back into the game and get a draw.
Yeah,
but we
Apollo, what we're missing the discussion is, yeah, but Spurs had more chances than we did, and simpler chances. So we can't say if we had scored, because they could have said the same thing. They had simple chances which they didn't put away.
They're not, but again, it's about being clinical. And you know, I watch
We
Liverpool.
haven't been good at scoring goals for years now. And here's my concern, Apollo. Someone in the chat says it's a process, and we are. I forgot exactly what they were saying. Almost like, you know, we're building up, but we're 5 years in, guys. We're 5 years. We've made Champions League. So is it going to be another 5 years to get to a certain level? Because you're running out of time, you know. At some
5
point,
years?
We're running out of time. You know why? Because the 2 teams at the top are in their own league. And there's no chance they're going to fall anytime soon because they keep buying. They can buy selectively, and players want to add to their squad. Look at Liverpool buying Diaz when they had wingers. Lord.
Yeah. And I might add, I'll add Diaz this year, Jota last year. And, you know, so I talked about Salah's in his 30s, Mane's in his 30s, Firmino, so they're going to be gone soon. But they already have their replacements.
They have succession planning, Paulo. It's succession planning. It's succession planning. They're doing a great job. So then you think about City. Don't talk about City because they're not anyway soon. Then Chelsea, they got to go through their ownership, but they have owners now, and they have a good team. They're going to add to it. Man U will bounce back. And the elephant in the Tottenham, if they're on a Conte, Levy has to spend or he leaves, and the fans would crucify him. And then you have the elephant in the room, which is Newcastle, who are going to have oodles of money to spend and will not take more than 3 years to get to a certain level. So now is the time to strike. And we're in a bet, because if we make Champions League, we can go buy some of the better players. We can get the Jesus and the Sterlings of the world, supplement what we have.
Yeah,
we need the Basumas of the world. We're talking about what's his name from Leicester, Fieldman's, and not buying that. We need the Basumas of the world, legs, speed, recovery, cover things, can make a pass, and so we can compete. But if we don't, we're going to be challenged.
I agree. Let's go with closing comments, guys. Let me start with Vincey. Vincey, your last thoughts for today?
Yeah, tough loss. Not great walking away with injuries. Yeah, just concerning. I just hope we can put a team out for Newcastle and have options on the bench, because I'm concerned.
Yeah, I can hear that in your voice, and it's not. That's my biggest concern leaving this. Tony's got the look on his face of Spike Lee, Nike, just do it. 2 games to go, just do it. Tony.
Yeah, I mean, trust the process, guys. I mean, as I said, they've given the guy another 2 years, so we have to support him. It's our team. Regardless what he does, how he does it, we have to support it. You know, whether it was Emery, whether it was Wenger, whether it was Bob Wilson, whether it was George Graham, I don't care who you put at the helm, I'm going to support the team because that's our team. So the fact that he has now got an extended contract, I have to support him. And I have to hope he does a good job. Because
Amen to that.
for me not to hope he does a good job means I'm inciting failure. And one thing that we've never done as a group is try to incite failure. I know the other channels that do watch-alongs and all that, they get vengeful. We come at it constructively. We do criticize, but we always come with the positivity.
Balance. Yeah, and the balance. Yeah. It's important to have balance in your views all the time.
As much as we're hurting and we're wounded right now, because we've just lost to our most deepest rival, we have 2 games in which we hope our manager can go on and do something with his players, his small group of players, which is ever increasingly getting smaller. Hope Gabriel gets better. And we go away on Monday. And even if we are 5th, because Spurs have beat Burnley, as I expect them to.
Yeah.
I hope we can do something at Newcastle with this group of players.
Neomis, before I come to you, Neomis, do you want to answer this question from Ewan? He says, is Arsenal losing top 4 failure?
The answer for me is no, because I've always maintained that at the end of last season when we did our season review, I said 7th. This is the bare minimum, and I've maintained that throughout the whole of this season. So for me, like, I just think us finishing 6th or 5th or 4th was just an additional bonus. And
you know, I'm laughing. You know, it's funny when we lost against Palace, Brighton, and Southampton. I said to Bertram, "Remember that 8th place I told you about? It's on, baby." I thought we were just gonna tumble down the table, and then Arteta switched the tactics, changed the team, went 3 at the back, put in El Nene and Nketiah, and here we are.
Yeah, and you know what? They've been consistent, and I think part of that is to do with Arsenal, and part of that's to do with other teams. But like, let's don't make a mistake. You know, it's been a good season, whether we get Champions League football or not. But it could be a great season if we get Champions League football. That's the only difference.
And by the way, for you guys that are kind of new watching and you haven't caught up with Neomis, check out his Arsenal channel called AFC Neomis. And he's a bit busy at the moment, but he does manage to get some time to catch up with you guys. You can still catch him on here as well when he's got the time. Bertram, closing comments.
So a couple of things. It's unfortunate that we're only playing 1 competition, yet we have lost our 2 best players for the rest of the season, it appears, which is concerning given that we're not playing in 3 or 4 different leagues, frankly. But having said that, I think their replacements, at least El Nene has done really, really well, and may have earned himself a new contract. But we're vulnerable at left back. Tierney has been injury prone all his career. Very good player, a lot of potential. But we need to have a competent replacement for him. We can't go into games feeling vulnerable because Tierney is not available. I'm very encouraged by the Ben White, the Gabriel, and Tomiyasu. So that's for the future. And they're young, they're good, they can only get better. In our midfield, we need a replacement for Partey because at 35, it's hard to stay healthy. Very hard. And so I don't see him staying healthy much more, given what has transpired over the last couple of years. So we need a couple of midfielders to help us. I know we're talking about this year, but I'm thinking in the future because it's going to be a challenge. And then up front, we need some more bodies. The Jesus of the world, who Arteta seemed to have been a very good salesman, actually. He probably should try another profession because I hear Jesus' agent saying that it's a good case and they believe in the project and the project sounds good. But what they told him is that he can come in and start. It's not about the project. You're going to start, we're going to pay you a lot of money. I mean, that's the best project you want to hear. And at Man City, I have no idea what I'm going to play or if I'm going to play, no matter how well I played the previous game. So, and Jesus is a good player, right? You know,
Yeah, if it's good enough for Pep, look, it's not easy to get in that team, you know.
No, but I'm saying the thing I love about him is I don't think he's the number one striker, but I think he can play across the entire forward line. He's that versatile. Left, right, or in the middle, and I think he would be a good supplement for the squad. So I did pick us to finish 6th, but I'm not patting myself on the back for that because right now we should be finishing 4th, given where we ended up. 6 games ago, we're in a good position. We haven't taken advantage of it. I am not disappointed about tonight because we haven't been Spurs away from home in the last 8 years. And given how Spurs beaten City twice, drawn Liverpool twice, I'm not sure why we expect to beat them at home today. I was hoping to get a draw, frankly. And if Holding hadn't gotten the red card, we probably would have gotten a draw. I thought the red card was debatable for Suarez. But my hope is that Arteta will take his own advice. He said it's his fault he didn't play Nketiah. So isn't it your fault you're not playing Pepe? And frankly, Saka looked much better in the middle today than he's looked out wide for a while. If you watch Saka in the middle today, in the second half when he got to touch the ball, he looked a much better player than he's looked on the right for a while. Because then you're not isolated, you can go left or go right, and he really protects the ball. So be a little more creative in your offensive setup and the way you move going forward to somehow discombobulate Newcastle and Everton. I'm probably more concerned about Everton. Newcastle is going to play for us, so that's concerning. But Everton is fighting for their lives. They're getting healthy, and that's not a good look. But hopefully, we can, as Neil was alluding to, hopefully we can we have to win 2 games. That's the problem I have with this. Yeah. We have to win 2 games. We drew today. We don't have to win 1. We have to win 2 games. And you know what? Let's be optimistic and hope we can do so.
We were saying before you came, you probably listened to us saying it, that Newcastle, Everton only need the point in their next game to be safe. So that's what we're hoping for in the next game. Before we go, I would like to ask each of you a question. You guys know how I feel about Odegaard being my captain. I'm really happy with what he's been able to do on the pitch. The voice and the passion is clear to see how he's leading this team at the moment, especially the vocal side. We always get worried about the vocal side, and he's been able to go in and do exactly what I hoped he would do. I'm not sold on Kieran Tierney for one reason, and that is because you need your captain on the pitch healthy and fit. And I think if he's been vice captain behind Arteta, then he can do the same job behind Odegaard. But I really want to see where you guys' hearts and minds are at the moment for next season. Vincey, who's your captain next season?
My captain, I think, should be Aaron Ramsdale. I don't think, in regards to Odegaard, I know he has captain material, but he's too in and out of games for me, which is a concern. And if Ramsdale can take on that role and maintain his performances, I think we have a goalkeeper who can be in the same mode as Seaman, who was, if it takes a lot of focus, but he has that motivating and presence, and he had a nice calm exterior with the defense throughout the season. So for me, somebody who's going to play every single game, I will go with Ramsdale.
Cool Case saying Thomas Partey. I just already done tell you that Tierney can't stay fit, and then you're throwing Partey at me at the same time. You guys are sucker for tortures, man. Tony, who's your captain for next season?
Cesc Fabregas.
He's not. You're like a dog with a bone, isn't it? You're not going to let go of this side and Cesc on a free contract, man. The thing is, like, he won't have the legs to play in the midfield, though. But I guess it depends. If you're where Al Nene is, you're not so much of a box-to-box striker if you're playing a single pivot. I don't know. Maybe I don't know whether the manager will look at that, but I see what you're coming from, though. I'm just worried about the legs, the box-to-box, the energy levels. Because there's one thing about El Nene and Nketiah. Them boy, they don't stop running enough. 95 minutes and they're still a run. So I'm not just not sure on the age thing now. I think they done that, tried it with Aubameyang and Willian and Mari and all that, and I just think they're going young now. Sorry, Vincey?
Can I just ask Tony? Would you say Cesc to come as a replacement for Odegaard in that position? Where would you?
He can't play up there. You got to play deep. He's got to play right next to Thomas Partey.
Would that not be more work playing deeper than having him in that position where Odegaard is the provider for those passes? So
I don't even know if Odegaard gets in the team, to be honest. But with Cesc, you have to. He's going to be the orchestrator.
Okay.
Yeah, he's going to be the orchestrator. My guy can play a ball. Yeah, Ozil-esque. Yeah,
and he's still doing it at Monaco.
So you'd have him in the middle. You'd have Cesc in the middle in the engine room.
Oh yeah, cooking up, boy, cooking it up.
Okay.
So 18 has gone for Gabriel. I don't mind that one. I don't mind Gabriel. I would definitely have him over Ben White anyway. He's been here longer. You can see the passion. If I talked about, mind you, they're both as good as each other, but I just
think the English is good enough.
It is. Yeah, it is for Gabriel. Neomis, who's your captain for next season?
So this is a tough one. Like Gabriel would be in consideration, but I don't know if he can speak like fluent English. And
his English is pretty good.
It's pretty good. Okay.
It's pretty good, yeah.
I'm only going to go for Ramsdale over Tierney, just for the fact that if Tierney's going to be out for like 25% of the season, that for me is way, way too much. I think if when you're talking any more than 10 games, which it looks like every single season, Tierney is out for at least for more than that. So for me, it'd have to be Ramsdale. I'll take Tierney as vice because I just think that when he's on the pitch, I love his attitude towards games. And you could just tell, like, I think there was a promo video for the Premier League on DAZN, and they had his goal that he scored against Brighton, where he was on that left-hand side, beat the man, cut in the inside, and then scored on his weaker right foot. And that's what I mean. That's more than what I expect from my left back. So yeah, for me, Ramsdale captain, but Tierney vice. Yeah.
You know what? Me and Bedham give the African Goon a lot of shit about Tierney, but I've really come around to him now. And it was because of what happened at Palace, those 3 losses. When I saw Gabriel struggle and I realized the support they were getting on the left-hand side and how critical he is to that whole play on the left-hand side. And we've been trying to fill it ever since. That's when I realized, Lord, you know what? Maybe I just unsung hero. Maybe I underlooked this guy's skill set.
In our defense, Tomiyasu, Gabriel, and Tierney, they're the rocks. They're the ones for me that defensively, if they're in that side, I think we're good. I think Ben White can be interchangeable depending on how you want to play with Holding. Like,
because he'll get forward. Ben White will run forward into the midfield.
Yeah.
He'll be an advanced player.
I think if you want a defender that gets forward, like play Ben White. If you don't mind it, Holden, I think will do a decent job. We saw what he did in the last game.
Yeah. But 2 progressive passes, 40 yards, man.
Yeah.
Bertram, who's your captain for next season? Is Bertram on mute? I think he might be. It doesn't look like he's on mute.
He's still in awe because he's thinking.
And by the way, I don't believe in goalkeepers being captains. Some people do, but I just can't pull the trigger on it. Bertram, we still can't hear you. It doesn't look like your mic is on mute. No, we can't hear.
Yeah, I think he is talking, but like for some reason it's not coming out.
Yeah, and I normally get the mute signs on here, so I know he's not on mute. No, we can't hear you at the moment, Bertram. Can anybody hear Bertram, or is it just me?
No.
Nah, log off and come back on.
Yeah, we can't hear you. All right, he's going to log off and try and come back on. Yeah, for me, I think it's Odegaard. I just love his presence. I never forget when I was lower tier once and I heard him just screaming at the entire midfield, getting people into positions, encouraging players, and the only time that the fans have heard it was when we were in lockdown, and you heard him screaming at Lacazette, screaming at Tierney, screaming at Xhaka. He was screaming at, and I was like, this guy is screaming at all these players who were older than him, and the way he was commanding everything. And if it wasn't under lockdowns in empty stadiums, we would have never known. We would have never known. But you heard him and you watched him, and he was like, this guy's leading the whole thing. And the only time I've ever seen that from a player is Guendouzi. When Guendouzi used to just shout a command at everything, 19 years old, you know, and then run onto the touchline, get instructions from Arteta, relay it to the whole team. That's what your captain's supposed to be doing. That's what Aubameyang is supposed to be doing.
You know what? It probably is a reason why Odegaard probably doesn't get more credit, because he's the captain of, is it Norway or Denmark?
Yeah. He's the captain of Norway. Yeah.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now, Bertram, loud and clear.
Yeah.
So sorry, Naomi, go ahead.
No, I was saying that the reason why he probably doesn't get a lot more credit is because his on-field contribution isn't always recognized, or isn't always at a level where, like, oh yeah, Odegaard had a great performance. Like, don't worry about like the leadership part, but like whereby you'd be like, oh, you know what, he gave 3 assists today. Like, what a brilliant performance. But like Ramsdale, for instance, where it looks like that's a bit of consensus. Every single, most games, 8 out of 10, that we're like, oh, Ramsdale had a great game. Great game.
So if you can remember back to the last international duty where Norway won their 2 games that they played, and Odegaard scored that beautiful curler, then set up Hadlang for his goal and got man of the match. I mean, all our Arsenal fans are looking at this guy now. They're watching him in great detail, and we like what we see from him on the international level. But I think he's not known for it. Only Arsenal fans know him for it. And
so here's what's surprising about this discussion. We are talking about the captaincy, and yet the main thing we're utilizing to judge the captaincy competence is the performance of the player on the field of play, which is really interesting as a criteria using to judge a player as a captain. So I say this: captain in football is symbolic and ceremonial. I don't think it really matters that much. So the only captain on Arsenal team is the manager. If you watch the game, the manager is the one captaining the team from the sideline. He's the one shouting all the instructions. He's the one providing all the directions. He's the one aligning people. There's only one captain in Arsenal. The other captaincy, whether it's Aubameyang, Odegaard, Tierney, Xhaka, are symbolic. Because I don't see them providing direction in the field. I don't see them say, come out, go forward, move left. There's only one captain.
Calm down. Listen, I watched Arteta. Listen, I believe Arteta as a captain. Right? I was watching Arsenal 2014 game with Arteta as a captain, right? Like, yes, captain. But now it's time to hand over the reins to someone on the pitch.
No. You watch Arsenal game. Does Arteta sit down like Pep does? Because Pep gets up sometimes. Like Kante does? Because Kante gets up sometimes.
I made this statement last week at Leeds. I was saying, we are 2-1 up with 10 minutes to go. How is this guy still not sitting down?
Because this Arsenal side can't be trusted. That's what it really comes down
that's right. Yeah, he's teaching them, and they're not listening. They're not following through. They're not grasping it.
When you play football, because I used to play a lot of football, do you ever listen to your captain on the football team? On a cricket pitch, yes. I'm gone again?
Yes.
Oh, Lord. Can you hear me?
Yes, you
no, now you're back.
No, you're there. I can hear you, Bertram. Yes, you do. I played with Tony, and the captain on the football pitch.
I'm going to be rebel. I never listened to my captain. I did my own thing.
I mean, the captain
on a football field. I was always the vice captain, and I always thought I was the captain because I was the one shouting. I never listened to the captain.
You're not a team player, Bertram. That's what it is. That's what it is.
Yeah,
I mean,
Vincey, go on.
I mean, it's not.
I can't hear you now.
Can you hear me now, Bertram?
I can't hear you.
I think
Can
his
you hear me now?
internet connection. I think his internet connection is coming in and out. That's what it sounds like. His voice is coming in.
Is
and out.
Vincey speaking?
Yeah. Can you hear me now?
Here you go.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I think it is Bertram's connection.
Yeah, it's Bertrand's connection.
Yeah, I mean, I think the captain does have its role, and it doesn't always have to be the most vocal because it's a presence and how they perform. I mean, Tony Adams was a captain.
Yeah, I can hear you. Yes.
Yeah, Tony Adams was the captain in voice and
Yes.
a captain in performance. You know, Patrick Vieira was a captain in voice and the captain in performance. You've had other captains in the team who weren't vocal, but their performance, you know what, if they were playing, you could feed off them. So there's various different ways in which the captain can have an influence on the team. You know, David Seaman, I thought was, you know, he was a rock leader at the back. You know, it depends on how the team is structured and set up. And I know why you say Arteta's the captain, because he's on the sideline and he's what some people use the word micromanaging the players during 90 minutes.
So Vincey, in the last,
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah. So Vincey, you know what's very interesting about your comment, Vincey?
Yeah, we've lost you again, Bertram. So I just want to say, obviously, we've all played football here, and in my experience, I've got a lot of football experience, as Tony knows. The role of captain is always very important to me, and I say that because, especially when at certain stages I've been captain of my team, you've got to be able to cooperate with and communicate with your players. You've got to create a unity between the senior and the young players as well, because that's always something of an issue. And you've got to be...
So, Vincey, you know what's interesting about your comment a while ago?
Oh,
you mentioned players from yesteryear.
Yeah, sorry, Bertram, hold on a second.
You mentioned Seaman, you mentioned Vieira, you mentioned Tony Adams.
I think he does have a delay, yeah. So, and one thing as well is you've got to control your players' discipline as well, and you've got to be willing to understand the young players. A lot has been said of David Luiz when Saka and those guys were coming up, because he was able to take that and grasp it. And you asked all the young players in the team, who, you know, when you came to Arsenal, who was the guy that put his arm around your shoulder? They all said David Luiz. So when he left Arsenal, I really felt that impact. And I don't think we have that right now. We didn't have it with Aubameyang. We might have had it with Lacazette. Maybe, I don't know. I haven't heard those things. But I'm sure Lacazette was a leader to those younger kids. But it does mean something to me, the captain's role. It really does. You're the mediator. You're the guy that when something's going on, you talk to your players. You go and talk to your manager, and you go and say, look, this is where I feel that we need to be. This is the feeling in the changing room right now, and we need to be able to do such and this and that. And you just have to be that mediator to communicate at all levels. So I think it's a very crucial, important role. And what I've been talking about is off the pitch. None of what I've said is on the pitch. So there's two kind of leaders, which I believe Vincey talked about it. There's a captain that offers actual leadership, which is all the things that I just said. And then the second thing is there's a captain that offers technical influence. Somebody like Thierry Henry, who is going to do all of his talking on the pitch and lead the team to victories. That is my opinion of a technical influencer. Someone who gets on the pitch, rallies the troops, and brings you to win. But what he does outside of off the pitch has to be as important as what he does on the pitch. So I do agree with Vincey in that regard. Sorry, Bertrand, can we hear you properly now?
I don't know. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can. Yeah,
one thing about Vincey's examples was he mentioned players from yesteryear as the examples of how he views a captain. He mentioned Seaman, he mentioned Vieira, he mentioned Tony Adams. No one in the last 15 years. He didn't mention Fabregas, and I thought Tony mentioned Fabregas before. Maybe because we have one other thing in the fabric, that's apart from FA Cups. But the point I'm trying to make is that a captain in cricket is much more important than a captain in football. Because if you don't perform in football, it's a problem because Maguire at Man U is a perfect example. Fernandinho at City doesn't play that much. So the question is the captain armband as important as we think it is? For Arsenal, the only person who runs the ship to me, when I look at the team, how they play, during the game, after the game, is Arteta. 24/7 he's talking. 24/7 he's pointing things out. He's the one setting them up. He's the one moving them around. He's the one chastising, cajoling, instructing. I don't see Odegaard up there telling the defense how to set up, or the forwards how to set up, or the midfield how to set up. And frankly, a goalkeeper can't be my captain. He's too far away from the action.
I can mention a name. I can mention a name on the pitch right now who actually says what you say, but fans don't want him to be a captain. So you know, it's. I understand what you're saying, but what Arteta's doing is micromanaging. You know, there are players on top of the pitch who actually are vocal, and the problem is the way how the system is. He just wants them to play a certain way. So, you know, Odegaard's a captain internationally. As Apollo said, he will be vocal on the pitch. You know, Xhaka will be vocal. He will turn and tell people to be in certain positions. Lacazette's shown that at various times this season. Tierney's shown that also. So we do have players who have that influence on the pitch, but at the end of the day, this is the way how Arteta wants us to play football, and he's going to be on the sideline, making sure it happens.
Tierney only captains one team. Tierney only captains one team, the hospital squad. The UK captain.
All right, guys. All right, listen. That's it for us, guys. A lot. Listen, I've enjoyed the conversation with you guys as usual. A lot of things for us to reflect about the things that we've said, and that the things that we've said to each other. I've always felt we can learn a lot from each other, because we bring so much to the table individually. So thank you very much. Very difficult night tonight. I know it is, guys. But we just have to build ourselves up and get Newcastle, just get over the line with Newcastle. Vincey.
And I just wanted to say I apologize for getting quite loud in my expression earlier on.
No. I want you to just let it all out. I want that, mate. I want the passion.
I do, because at the end of the day, it was a situation where I got frustrated. So I hold my hands up, and it's not directed at anyone. I respect the panel and I respect the family. So I'll just say it as it is. I hold my hands up.
Yeah. No, that's fine, mate. That's fine. As I said, guys, we just need to get over Newcastle and then Everton. And it's tough, man. We don't want to be in this position, but we wouldn't be Arsenal if we weren't doing what we're doing right now. Am I wrong, Bertram? We all saw squeaky bum time, man. It's always got to be. We can't do anything easy. It's not the Arsenal way. So, all right, guys.
You can't hear for some reason.
That's all right, man. That's all right. All right, guys. Thanks for joining the stream, everybody. And listen, we'll see you in the next one. No problem, man. We'll be here streaming Newcastle game. Take care.